tell you this, Avi, you definitely do your homework.
It was intellectually stimulating, and which is kind of a unique thing in this world of ours today.
Thank you. That's the best introduction I've ever heard in my life. You know something? You need to quit the show and be my moderator and travel with me because I will pay you.
And Avi, great job. This is interesting and different.
Well, thank you very much. I can't think of a better way to begin the new year than with you.
Avi is a poet, but he doesn't know it, but his feet show it.
You're unbelievable.
The deep question in this campaign is one of confidence in leadership.
It'd be fantastic to win this thing. First thing I would do is set up story performances over in Greece, and I'd like to do it in one of the ancient theaters.
Why would I not want to be able to go from Marathon to Athens and trace the original steps?
Going to Greece with my wife and my family and having a great time. Let's win this.
Just like in sports, I'm sure Jim would say the same thing. You don't play for individual awards.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to be able to say I beat all these guys.
I'm trying to go to Greece. I'm here to win the whole thing.
I've come here to chew gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
It really is about winning.
Yeah, heck yeah, I'm here to win it.
And I'm here to do my best.
Everybody has some pride. Victory has 1,000 fathers, but defeat is an orphan. I plan on winning tonight.
Here doing mental push-ups.
Winning is really important. What's even greater is inspiring. That's what you do with this show.
Well, you're in it to win it, or why be in it at all?
I'm about winning.
I think I'd be more interested in the prize.
It's about the prize.
I am here to go for the gusto.
Why are you keeping score if you don't want to win?
102 Hall of Famers. And
because I'm going to win it. We all want to win.
I'm here to win.
Of course, I'd love to win.
I'm always in it to win it, Avi.
I'm definitely in it to win it.
I've already won.
I hate losing. I want to go to Greece.
It's about the pride. You don't want to come in second. You want to be first.
Well, of course I am. I don't do nothing to lose.
Yes, I do. Of course I do. I want to go to Greece.
I have a newborn daughter. I'm here to win it for her.
Wouldn't be on here if I wasn't going to win something.
Yes, I'm going to win it all, man. I'm winning it all, baby.
Going for it.
Party people! That's right. I'm here. Nothing better than the top. Well, I'm going to give it 110%.
We don't go out with no losing mentality.
I'm here to win.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here to win the whole thing, man. I don't get in the ring for losing, man. I'm like in the ring right now.
To do the best I can. Looking forward to it.
But I am here to win.
I'm here to win it.
If it has competition in it, I definitely want to be the one to win it.
And have to want to win this thing.
The Mountie always gets his man.
I'm going to win.
I don't play. I just win.
Why not? I've been to Greece once. I'd love to see it again. Of course. So yeah, darn right I want to win this thing.
Just say this, Avi. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Listen, I got the whole pride of my family riding on tonight's event.
The most dangerous place on this show is between me and that prize. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm a winner. I was born a winner. I didn't come here to lose.
You had me at Greece, baby. I told you I've never been.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'd never enter a competition without trying to win.
Everyone's here to win.
Would you want to win this entire thing, Mr. Douglas?
Most definitely.
I love it, guys.
I'm a bad man.
Yes, you are.
I can fight.
But I'm here to win this entire TKN celebrity game.
Are you here to win the entire tournament, my friend?
I don't play unless I'm going to win.
Winning is not an option. I got to be a legend because I won.
And I saw a very familiar face in Mike Rotundo. He was here for the winner chicken dinner, and I want to take away that chicken dinner. So yes, I want to win this.
Yes, it would be lovely.
So yeah, I'm here to win it. Damn it, I'm here to win it.
Well, you know what? If you play, you might as well win.
I didn't come here to lose. I am going to Greece no matter what for my 50th birthday.
I mean, why not, man? I mean, my wife loves Greece.
You know, winning isn't everything. It is the only thing.
And then after that,
I think she played Kathy Shumway, maybe?
Yeah, she was Kathy Shumway. Very good. That's very impressive.
I mean, that was fantastic. You are great. The only other person that has that kind of spontaneity and the gift of gab was the late, great Chick Hearn. We thought Golden Throat was gone, but he's reincarnated in you.
You're sheer 9 or 10. You're probably 9.5.
Oh.
10 is, no one's perfect. But honest to God, you're terrific. You do your homework. And I've done everybody. You know, I've done everything. I've done, in the 80s, I did Johnny Carson. I did, you know, Merv Griffin. I did it all. And you're very energetic and good, and you ask the right questions.
Now, if I hear any giggling...
Another trio of questions, now more underrated. We have Billy D. Williams, Italian men named Skippy or Unicycle.
Abolish the political parties.
I'll tell you this, Avi, you definitely do your homework. Hey, like I said, the good thing about you're extremely prepared.
Fills out his gomadas every Friday night.
Oh, where'd you get that book from?
Yeah, there we go.
Beautiful. That's easy. I say a lot. You did your homework.
John Amos.
Man, what an introduction. I hope I can live up to that. God bless you.
I'm prepared to take on this challenge of this wonderful monologue that you've written, and I couldn't think of anything I'd rather do after I read it again for maybe the third or fourth time.
I've just been waiting on one of those introductions, and I was sitting there watching the opening of the show, seeing all these guys talk about, oh man, thank you, that was the greatest introduction we've ever had. And I'm sitting here, I'm saying to myself, please, I'm waiting on him to introduce me.
Thank you for that great introduction. This is awesome.
Avi, thank you, man. That is quite the introduction. I've done a ton of these things, as you know. I've never had an intro like that.
It's good to be able to see that you bring people together that, you know what, maybe one of the world's problems will get solved by listening to this show. And I want you to accept the accolades that you get from all of these brilliant people. They tell you that you're smart. They tell you that you're exposed. These are comments and compliments that you have to say, thank you very much, I accept.
Thank you. That's the best introduction I've ever heard in my life. You know something? You need to quit the show and be my moderator and travel with.
Thank you. You said things about me that I don't even remember. And what a collection of wonderful personalities you have.
I think you should write my own book like the intro. Would you do that again? You're amazing, brother. I was always known as a good talker, but I don't know what the hell to say after listening to you. You're amazing.
Thanks, man. That was great. I love the introduction. Yes.
Avi likes to move it.
My friend, I am glad that I'm getting to know you. You are one hell of a human being.
Oh, man, thank you, Avi. I appreciate it, man.
Wow, dude. And that is amazingly everything that's happened in my life up till this moment right now.
I did. It's so unusual to be engaged in what everybody else is saying.
Because when you could stay on and do this, I could have stayed on for hours more.
I had a great time. It was great. I mean, your intro for me was just awesome, but also the intro to the show was like, wow, you have all of these people.
Oh, I had a blast, man. This was absolutely phenomenal.
It's completely different. I mean, it's not like a podcast at all. Avi, the way you talk, you're amazing, brother.
You have something amazing going with the show but you're there and you're educating us. You're taking people from different eras, different disciplines. If you're taking us out of our comfort zone, you're making us fall in love with people that we didn't know.
I had a wonderful time, Avi. You gave me good eargasm tonight, man. I love your voice. I love the things that you talk about, man. Is eargasm a word?
It is now.
I may have had great intros, but I shall never have better.
Wow, man. You need to go everywhere with me with that intro, man.
Holy smokes, Avi. Where did you get that information from?
Welcome to the Wow. My friend.
Of my face, even when I came on, I'm just like in awe.
Avi, thank you very much. That was absolutely beautiful, man.
Oh my gosh, I am overwhelmed. that was incredible and exciting.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And like so many others in the intro and now, let me applaud your dexterity with the language.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Marvelous intro. Thank you very much.
Wow. Oh, my dear, what an intro. Boy, you do your homework.
Hey, Avi, beautiful. Great entree.
Thank you very much. Hell of a info, I tell you that.
Thank you, Avi. That was, oh man, I got chill bumps just listening to you.
That was a good introduction.
Wow. That was great, man. That was great.
Damn. I didn't know I was that famous. Thank you for letting me know who I am.
Well, Avi, thank you very much for that warm welcome.
Hey, thank you, Avi. I got to say, that's one of the better introductions I've ever had.
I just experienced sympathy cardio. My heart rate's about 120 beats a minute just listening to that intro, brother.
Wow. Holy moly, Mother of God.
I need to get a copy of that because that's going to be my eulogy.
The greatest wealth is when you can share it with someone. You can express your deepest feelings, but the greatest wealth is to be able to say that I have a friend. And I feel an unbelievable level of wealth. And a lot of that is because I have somebody like you.
Thank you, Avi. And if I could say something to you.
Yes,
you know, I've been through a really rough time the last month, and I really thank your support. I lost my father, and you were the first person to support me in all that, and I thank you so much for that. It meant a lot to me.
Did you find the technique itself helpful when it came to observing your scene partner staying present instead of strictly relying upon memory?
That's a great question, Avi.
I really enjoyed this, man. You're a smart guy and you ask really good questions. And
Last name Mantegna, first name Joe. Joe, welcome, my friend.
I think I have whiplash, Avi. Thank you very much.
What a hell of an introduction. That was cool, man. I don't even think Michael Buffer did it better than you, brother.
I stand in awe of your memory and your ability to rhyme.
What an incredible introduction, Avi. That is probably the best introduction I've ever had.
Jake Roberts, my friend.
Wow, that was scary.
I am so grateful for our friendship. And you know what? You appreciate things in people that make such a difference.
This is different. I don't even know where you come up with these questions. You're so innovative. I love it, man, because it got me thinking.
It was intellectually stimulating, which is a unique thing in this world of ours today.
I had a fabulous time. Thanks for having me on the show.
And Avi, great job. This is interesting and different.
It was awesome. It was really great.
Wow, thank you. What an amazing introduction.
And I really enjoyed every minute of it, man. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm just happy I made it to the next round.
And you, Avi, I have a great deal of respect for your resume as well. I mean, I've done many interviews over the years, but this has been one of the most fun by far.
Well, thank you very much. I can't think of a better way to begin the new year than with you.
Have fun tonight, my friend?
Yes, I did. People are willing and open. I like that.
Wasn't sure what to expect. You're number one in my book as far as putting on a podcast.
You know what? You're a very interesting person. I mean,
please.
you with all this rhyming stuff, you must really put a lot of effort into this. And
Graves, is teaching this craft as rewarding for you as performing?
I think sometimes it's more rewarding.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. You do a great job preparing.
A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
I hope you're getting paid a lot. That was the greatest intro I think I've ever had.
It's terrific and it's fun and keep bringing diverse personalities together. I think that's great. And it's also wonderful to hear people talk sanely to each other today.
I can't tell you how refreshing it is that somebody knows what they're doing.
When all of the actors and directors, different worlds come together, this is like a sanctuary for those people because we don't always get to talk about the things that really truly move us. I love this show because it makes me feel.
Brother, I'm going to take you with me everywhere to get an introduction. That's the best introduction I've ever had in my life.
You know, usually I'll do interviews and get asked the same questions about Stephen King. This was great to talk about things that matter, that go beyond project.
Wow, when I have a retirement party, even at my funeral, you better show up.
That was one of the best introductions I've ever had in my entire life. Better than my bar mitzvah.
Papa Smurf as a hip hop artist?
Yo, yeah.
You're very talented. That's amazing.
Mr. Sizemore, first name Tom. How are you, my friend? So I could turn the volume lower if you'd like next time, if you'd like me to do that.
I don't know what I can do now.
First name Keith.
Oh my God, what a great introduction. Fantastic. You do your research, connected with me right there. And he knows my brand. This is why your audiences love you. This is why you continue to great guests, and great guests beget great guests.
I enjoy myself so much. Oh, man.
I love the questions. Honestly, like that perspective in life.
Hey, listen, brother, it was so much fun. I'm so glad I'm moving on to the next round.
Avi, you do an amazing job. I appreciate you and appreciate this format.
I actually had a great time. I got a great chance to get to know the other two contestants.
I had a great time, and if I go up against Jimmy McMahon, can we do it in the same room together?
I really enjoyed myself. Thank you. Yeah.
Did you have a nice time, Sally?
I did. A wonderful time. Thank you.
I appreciate you. You have a great rest of the weekend, my friend. Had a fun time?
I did. Yeah, it was very interesting. Yeah, very different.
Had a great time.
I had a great time. I mean, listen, it's, you know what, it's just bringing people together.
Practically family. If you're from Houston, one day we're going to see each other in person. Thank you so much.
It opened my eyes. It opened my eyes to people and their own trials, tribulation.
Did you have a nice time tonight, David?
I did. I really enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys.
I sure did. Thank you. That was, like I said, just super refreshing.
Hey, Avi, you're incredible, brother. You just never cease to amaze me. Thank you very much.
This show should be on mainstream television.
You showed us your heart and soul, and I appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I really do love what you're doing.
I respect you a ton. Can't wait to talk to you soon and work with you as well.
It's like Saturday Night Live all over again.
You have accomplished something that is absolutely amazing. It's amazing. There's no words to describe what you are doing. You are getting the best out of everybody, out of every discipline, and you're putting it out there and sharing it with everybody that, you know what, your show should be in every school. They should listen because you bring good values. You bring it's amazing what you're doing, Avi, and you know everybody's telling you, but take it from me. What you are doing is educating. The world is a better place thanks to you.
I think it's fabulous. I'm excited.
Guys and gals and pals, it is Saturday night, so you know we're rocking the house with 119 Hall of Famers from the world of pro wrestling, music, sports, not to mention Oscar, Grammy, Tony, Emmy, Golden Globe, AMA, WGA, and Olympians, all competing for the pride and the prize. And if you want controversy, go somewhere else. We don't do controversy. We do conversation. That's what we do over here. Thank you again for all of you. We are looking at 7-figure views across the board. Total 7-figure views, 6-figure views on average. The last 2 shows have been amazing. And guys, we thank you for your support. This is free. Remember, guys, edutainment at its absolute best. If you're a fan of fiery, unbridled passion, that intro says it all, as it can melt the South Pole. This place we call the Green Room is filled with edutainment and has plenty of heart and soul. And in this celebrity tournament that has captivated the masses, the field is one of a kind. Luminaries from all walks of life gathering to compete for the pride and the prize. This is truly a sport of the mind. Sure, the numbers are fantastic on 53 total pages, not including my own, but what's even sweeter is the sweat. By that, I mean good old-fashioned work ethic, wholehearted passion, effort, and consistency, which never lead to regret. With $13,000 and a trip for 2 to Greece and becoming the first champion of this star-studded field, a lot is on the line. But you, our audience, the engine that makes this thing go, are the sweet nectar that we appreciate like fine old wine. And as strangers become friends and we all come together, let's remember that we're closer than one might surmise. Limitless visions of innovative bliss experienced by an ensemble is the vision behind these eyes. So guys and gals, I'm about to bring in our first participant right now. Success is the pursuit of progress, despite failure. A man that has a deep understanding of human nature and the world around him so happens to be my guest. His work of art can be seen, heard, and felt because it is timeless. His work epitomizes the unselfish collaboration. He's created such great harmony with fellow colleagues. So guys and gals, our first participant was raised by parents Ken and Patty. The former was a Major League Baseball outfielder who appeared in 6 seasons. He played for the Yankees, Angels, and even got to learn from the great Vern Stevens. As for his son, He made many people smile, and soon I'll list all of the reasons. His sister Carrie always wanted to be an actress and was on the casting call sheet one day, and she encountered him to give him a shot, as it was his foray into the acting world, as before the age of 7, his talent was on display as he was growing his resume right before being cast on one of the most iconic shows of all time, as it originally aired on a Thursday, and it received the press as it was nominated for Best Show at the 65 Golden Globes, but I digress. And when asked if there were other siblings at home, his sister said yes. His first role came in the 1961 comedy fantasy film Two Little Bears, co-starring Eddie Albert and Jane Wyatt, A Father Knows Best, during a wholesome era of TV where everyone was well-dressed. And at the behest of the studios, he was cast for more parts as he impressed the masses with his talent. As soon he'd book a role that was more than merely a guest spot on TV. It would usher in a fan base that was proud to express their insanity and loyalty to a show that was quite revolutionary. He appeared on such shows as Bonanza, Ben Casey, General Hospital, The Real McCoys, and My Favorite Martian. Later on, he had a recurring role in My Three Sons, along with a bevy of shows during an era where even nuns could watch wholesome programming, even westerns depicting cowboys firing off their guns. Even though I'm not mentioning this huge role he landed just yet, don't fret, because I'm merely building it up like a baguette in the French Riviera that you won't soon forget. But auditioning for this role wasn't as easy as beating a dog named Odie in a game of Parcheesi. He was up against 500 other kids. In fact, he wasn't cast for the pilot episode. As I was told, Happy Durman got the part, but played it bratty, so they told him to hit the road. They wanted the character to be portrayed as a nice kid, which our participant definitely did. He also found work on popular TV shows like Gunsmoke, I Dream of Jeannie, The Monkees, Adam 12, and Daniel Boone. So his range was vast, like the Four Seasons in Saskatoon, and not merely defined by a character that would sometimes bark at the moon. He also appeared in Disney movies, such as Way Down Cellar, The Young Loner, and the one and only Genuine Original Family Band. This was years before he appeared tonight, appearing, guys and gals, to win a tournament most grand. A break came when he landed the lead role on the Saturday morning kids show Lidsville from 71 to 73 as he played a boy named Mark. In topic number 2 tonight, make sure to sit and park, as we'll find out why he'd like to be opposite Downey Jr., you know, good old Tony Stark. In the mid-70s, he left acting to pursue a career in music, learning the bass guitar. He's down to earth, and he doesn't behave like some star, dining on fancy-ass caviar, hobnobbing with some czar named Mikhail Belisar. As for the iconic show mentioned earlier, it provided glee to many, so I'll mention it now. Relax and have some tea, or listen to some Billy D, because through his role in 64, he gained pop culture immortality, portraying a son named Eddie. Interesting as last week at Faustino, who played Bud Bundy. But what he's proud of most, rightfully, is his sobriety, which inspires us all, from 9 to 5ers to Illuminary. But he's looking forward to Greece, if he can defeat the many, which is why I'll not stop rocking the stick and bring him out now as the drama is thick, like a Hitchcock flick, so put your hands together for a kind, humble human being. Last name, Patrick. First name, Butch. Butch Patrick, welcome to the Celebrity Tournament, my friend.
Hello, how are you doing? Whoa, that's quite an intro, my friend.
You deserve every bit of it. It's not on me, it's on you, because you've inspired people for so many years, and you've done it with that same smile you have in your face, because I've seen, and my literary agent told me, every time you're at a convention, you don't turn a fan down. You're always there for them. You always leave them better than when they came in, and I respect you for that.
Yeah, I'm very blessed, and, you know, a lot of people work a lot, but, you know, sometimes you get lucky with a particular show that resonates and stays forever, and it's been 60 years this year of great memories and great fan base.
That is absolutely incredible. Butch, I got to ask you the same question I ask everybody else here. Again, I won't give you the recap, but we have 119 Hall of Famers and luminaries all in this celebrity tournament, the biggest of all time. Are you here to win the entire thing, my friend?
Hey, I'm not here for a participation trophy.
I love it. I love it. Guys and gals, the great Butch Patrick, I'm going to put you backstage for a moment, my friend.
I'm sorry?
I'm going to put you backstage for one moment, my friend.
Very good.
Absolutely. Butch Patrick, you're going to see him because I'm going to bring in our second participant, then our third, and then we'll all be on screen, guys and gals and pals. And again, thank you for watching. Yes, welcome Mr. Patrick, guys and gals. He is class personified, no doubt about that. I'm going to bring in our second participant right now, guys and gals. And when I think of him, I think of the following. I think of a smile being the light in your window that tells others that there's caring and sharing in all of us inside. Legendary poet Walt Whitman said, I am the friend of all, comrade of all, who shake hands and welcome all who bring respect. Got to bring respect. The above rings true when describing the next participant tonight, because helping others has been important to him from a young age. He's a class act, and he realizes that without a sense of caring, there could be no sense of community. Our second participant was born in Laurel, Mississippi, and he was raised by his mother, Ronell Hearn, who worked very hard. She was a nursing assistant in Gainesville, Florida, and watched as her son starred and excelled because she held him in high regard. Why not? he did something that you can't even find in a rom-com in the era of the .com. I'm talking about his mom, taking his mom to the 1999 Gainesville High senior prom. The man is class personified indeed. Much respect as he continued his night with friends after dropping her home at midnight. It was a Gainesville High where many witnessed his talents, guys and gals, as he had the speed of a car driven by one Michael Knight and the intensity of a bad boy toughening up Grand Hill in a mid-90s spot for Sprite. He played freshman football for the high school's team known as the Purple Hurricanes, and they had a great formula. This is years after he played football out in the yard and in the church parking lot because they had a big open area. And in the 9th grade he played, it was as organized and developed as the mighty London Orchestra. As a freshman, he was on the varsity and played receiver and cornerback. He had the speed, the flow, he could go. He played b-ball. What could he do? The gall. He ran track. Wasn't afraid to attack, letting all know that he was here to rock the show, ready to attack. Like Mark Morrison's Return of the Mac, there was nothing he would lack. He, the leader of the pack, give the man a plaque, Jack, right now, if you can. He switched to running back as a junior and gained 800 yards. And as a senior, his coach, Eddie James, saw his talent and made him the weapon of offense. What a year. It was intense. There was no false pretense. Hence, he produced a year of excellence. The giants of the gridiron realized they were on the field with a man that pound for pound was the biggest of them all, like Hoops Maestro Mr. Archibald, first name Nate, or Warren G's buddy who knew how to regulate. Right out of the gate, he became prime real estate. He gained 2,036 yards with 26 touchdowns. And of course, his talent brought along recruiters, a litany who would plea, but he knew where he wanted to play, and that was Miami. After a game where he ran 147 yards, he ran much more and set a school record for 500-yard gains. And in the Gator Bowl, he was more powerful than a Mother Nature hurricane, as he ran for 117 yards with only 12 carries and a 73-yard touchdown, something to talk about on planes and trains. He would break records and excel in just about every game. So when he went into the second round of the NFL draft, the Denver Broncos were elated to call his name. But despite the fame and the acclaim, he was ferocious like a hungry gator, biding his time in the Everglades. So why not bring up this man's vast array of awards and accolades? He played 9 seasons for the Redskins and Broncos and had 2,230 carries and 9,923 yards, 247 catches, 2,018 yards. He played 9 seasons, guys and gals, and he scored 80 touchdowns. He was selected to play in 2 Pro Bowls and won the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. A select panel included him as one of the greatest Redskins of all time. Beyond football, he was a standout track athlete for the Gainesville High School track team, and it was named, guys and gals, he was timed at 10.6 seconds in the 100 meters. He was a member of the varsity track team, but did more than that. Because you know what else he did, guys and gals? He finished with a time of 40.8 seconds when it came to the meter relay team. He also posted a personal best of 2.01 meters in the high jump, 6.91 meters in the long jump. He ran track and field for the University of Miami, where he won the state championship in the 4x4 400-meter relay. He also recorded personal bests of 6.93 seconds in the 60 meters and 21.82 seconds in the 200 meters. On April 10th, 2014, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. When it comes to his impact, how can one overlook or dismiss? His speed was on another level. I'm not meaning to diss, but his competition compared to him would run like an 800-year-old tortoise. He cut through defenders like a knife through Swiss. What else do I have to say? How about this? Put your hands together for a talented, humble, sincere human being. First name Clinton, last name Portis. Welcome, my friend, to the celebrity tournament.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me. I need whatever you on. I need my energy to be to that level at all times.
No, man, you deserve, again, every bit of it. And you know what? I got to say this to you, man. I don't know how this comes across, but I'll say it live. I can spot real, man. And you are real. And I appreciate you for that, man. There's a lot of people in this world that sometimes they have their guard up because, you know, in this industry that I'm in and the one you're in, man, sometimes people want something from you. The thing I like about you, man, is I could tell that when you got your circle, they are with you for life because you're definitely a loyal, real human being.
That's the way it got to be, man. You know, the world is different. I think we all get to move around in life and people reinvent who they are or their circle. I still got the same circle from high school and college. So
wow.
I know a lot of people say no new friends, but it is what it is.
I got to say this, though. You're one of the greatest football players of all time, college and NFL. A lot of luminaries here. You know who's in here. You're in here. You don't take a backseat for anybody. Are you here to win the entire celebrity tournament?
Definitely here to win it all, man. You know, I think the experience alone, but, you know, being a part of one of the greatest teams of all time, all we do is win, 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 win.
I love it. Clinton Portis, guys and gals, the man knows how to win. There's no doubt about that. I'm going to put you backstage for a moment, my friend. Guys and gals, the great Clinton Portis, he's here with us, and the great Butch Patrick, he's here with us. So, guys, Butch Patrick, Clinton Portis, and now our third and final luminary who I'm about to bring in right now, guys and gals and pals. And you want to talk about legends. You want to talk about decorated athletes, but you also want to talk about people who stand up for what's right. You want to talk about people with morals. You want to talk about somebody right now I'm about to bring in who's helped so many people when the glitz and glamour and the pomp and circumstance weren't around. She did it because she's got a great heart. I'm going to bring her in right now, guys and gals and pals. It'll be my pleasure. Our third participant was born in Brownfield, Texas, a small city in the western region of the state. It might be 2024, but there's no debate. She's on the Mount Rushmore of her sport of an all-time great. So let the following marinate while many of us pouring Tony the Tiger back in the day on our plate were watching cartoons at a rapid rate. She began her basketball odyssey before she even reached the age of 8, which is why years later she would obliterate and educate all her opponents on the court like a mid-80s Sergeant Slaughter or Houdini doing his tricks underwater. She grew up with her mother Louise and 3 brothers, and she credits her siblings James and Earl with helping hone her game. It wasn't about the fame or the acclaim. That's non-existent at age 7. Playing ball was like living earth on, but experiencing heaven. It eliminated all the strife. Even at such a young age, basketball was her life. Every time her brothers would leave to go play ball, she would cry until her mom finally gave in and would say, "Go ahead and go, but don't come hurt or crying." Yeah, I'm sighing, and I ain't lying when I say that even through many were trying, keeping up with her on the court felt like dying. That isn't merely me falsifying. I'm merely clarifying that when it came to her athletic ascension, there was no denying. Guarding her was downright terrifying, as she was that electrifying. At first, her brothers didn't play hard, but they weren't privy to these rhymes, as her brother James, who at 6'4", would play for Murray State. But before dropping his dimes, he ended up losing to her a couple of times. With the help of her 2 older brothers, she developed into an all-state and all-American high school player and retained her class like an O'Toole named Peter. This was years after she thought about becoming a flight attendant or a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. She was passionate and provided such energy relentlessly with a population of less than 10,000 in Terry County that seemed to stretch on endlessly, where deliveries came via tractors and the nearest target was a 40-minute drive away. Basketball was more than just a game one would play. It gave her an opportunity to seize the day, even when the skies were gray and there were no 5-star luxuries like Chef Goulet serving a tasty dish of creme brulee. Growing up in the Baptist church and excelling in a children's league called the Little Dribblers was actually quite vital, as it gave way to her leading her high school team, the Lady Cubs, to the state title. Her high school coach, Dickie Fott, was interviewed at a restaurant eating some ribs and remembers how humble she was and what a great role model she has been to so many kids. And her career rolled on, as there is so much more to acknowledge, like venturing to Levelland, where she shined at South Plains College. She, guys and gals, she was Player of the Year. She won that title in 91, but allow me to bestow upon you even more bits of knowledge. After transferring to Texas Tech University, she quickly gained national attention. During her time at Texas Tech, she set more than 10 school records as her fans felt the affection. She was the star of the 1993 national championship run. She had no apprehension as the country came together to appreciate the Lady Raiders and their overall ascension, while their opponents had no idea what they got themselves into, like Rod Serling's character in Another Dimension. Not 2, not 3, not 4, or 5. She is considered by no less than 322 major publications to be the greatest, delivering masterpiece after masterpiece like a chef named Gordon. She's universally known and accepted, always compared with the one and only Michael Jordan. Even though you get the gist, I cannot help but marvel at her vast array of accolades, so let me share with you this list. At Texas Tech, she was a first-team All-America in 92 and 93. She was named Naismith College Player of the Year and the WCA Player of the Year her senior season in 93. She scored an NCAA record 47 points in the national championship game with all the pressure, think about that, and was named the NCAA Final Four Most Outstanding Player. During her time in the WNBA, she was named MVP 3 times, 2000, 2002, 2005, and she won 4 straight championships as a member of the Houston Comets from 97 to 2000. She's a 6-time WNBA All-Star. She's a 3-time WNBA Defensive Player of the Year. She's a 2-time WNBA scoring champion. At the 2011 WNBA All-Star Game, she was recognized as one of the 15 greatest players in the league. 15. Her time with USA Basketball included 3 Olympic gold medals in 96, the year 2000, and 2004, along with 1 FIBA World Championships gold medal. She was enshrined to the greatest Basketball Hall of Fame, the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, in 2016, and in 2017, she was inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. Her Texas Tech Lady Raiders jersey was retired by the school the following year, making her one of only 3 Lady Raiders to be honored in such a way. There are a ton of women's basketball records, including single-game scoring record, which happened on March 13, 93, 53 points. Single-season scoring record in the 93 season. Highest championship tournament scoring average at 35 a game. best single championship scoring performance, 47 versus Ohio State, which broke Bill Walton's record, and scoring record for championship series, 170 points, 5 games. She set the record for the most field goals in the championship game with 16. She's only the second player in WNBA history to win both the regular season MVP and the All-Star Game MVP award in the same season. She's also the first player in WNBA history to record a triple-double in both the regular season and the playoffs. She's the first women's basketball player to have a Nike shoe named after her. She was named one of the 20 female athletes of the decade for 2000 to 2010 by Sports Illustrated. There is no doubt that she is excellence personified and the absolute queen of hoops. She's given back to all, from kids, adults, civilians, and troops. Guarding her on the court was impossible, like a series of oops. She resonates with the masses and all of life's groups. So put your hands together for a humble, kind, modest, legendary talent and human being. First name Sheryl, last name Swoopes. Welcome, my friend, to the celebrity tournament.
Thank you, Avi. I'm laughing. You got me over here wanting to come out of retirement. I don't think I've ever had an intro like that. So I agree with Clinton. Whatever you're on, please pass it to me because I
swear to you that I'm on life. I'm so boring. I've never had a cigarette in my life and stuff. But I'll say this: I'm on this because I love being able to celebrate you and Clinton and Butch as the human beings that you are. Because as legends, you're untouchable. But what you do when the camera's not on, I salute you and respect you. From the heart.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. I'm like super excited to be here. Thank you.
I have to ask you the same question because much like Butch and Clinton, a ton of luminaries here. Well, of course, the pride and the prize, 13 grand, trip for 2 degrees for 5 days and 5 nights for the ultimate winner. Are you here to win the entire thing, Sheryl?
Like, you don't even have to ask me that question. I don't know anything but winning. So let's go. Let's
do
get it.
I love it. I love it. Guys and gals, Sheryl Swoopes, Clinton Portis, and Butch Patrick, all on screen for the first time tonight. Very, very great. Guys, again, we'll have cool conversations between the topics as well because having all three of you on, first of all, is a real delight. I'm a very direct, honest person, and I got to tell you, getting to know a bit of you before the show began during these last couple of weeks, I'm glad our audience will as well. You guys are a class personified. And I guess what we're going to do right now is kick off with topic number one. Topic number one, guys and gals. Sheryl will respond first. I'll set it up. And then, of course, Clinton will go second. Butch will go third for this topic. And it's all about what I call being able to double down on your dream. If you're tired of getting second-class rewards for first-class work and you're ready to be respected for who you are, double down, right? Because achieving your dreams is not easy or straightforward as you might think. There's moving parts. It could be overwhelming. But when you find yourself in a state of paralysis by overanalysis, you didn't even realize you were in that state. Before you know it, 6 months have passed. And now what happened all that time? Why am I not any closer to my dreams from when they first popped into my head? What have I found, guys and gals? Well, maybe you should find that the keys to double down on what will move the needle closer to your dreams. Sheryl, my friend, can you provide an example where you doubled down on a particular dream or goal that you had? Did you find it effective when deciding to maximize your efforts on a particular goal or dream?
God, yeah. First of all, I'm like so super excited to be here with both Butch and Clinton. For me, it was growing up, I started playing basketball when I was 7. And I always wanted to play in the Olympics, right? I honestly had 2 goals at the age of 7 that I was like, this is going to happen for me. And one was meeting in my opinion, the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan, which did happen. And the other one was to someday play in the Olympics. And I never had an opportunity to watch women play basketball except for the Olympics. But even in the Olympics, it was, you had to be there at the right time. It was probably 2, 3 in the morning to get a chance to watch women play basketball. So at the age of 7, my goal was to someday play in the Olympics. And I remember the very first time I got invited to USA Basketball, I was probably 16, 17 years old, hadn't really traveled, hadn't been anywhere, didn't really know what to expect, but I got an opportunity to go try out for, I believe it was the Junior World Championships or the World Games. And I went in with the confidence and even the attitude of I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be and I deserve to be here. And quite frankly, I went in like I'm the shit, right? So I remember going in and trying out, and the last day they post the list and my name isn't on the list of who made the team. I remember walking out and having a conversation with the coach, like, you forgot to put my name on the list. And And it was a simple, like, you're just not ready. And at the age of 17, like, I don't think I really truly understood what that meant. Like, you're not ready. For me, I thought I was ready for that moment. So I went back home, remember having a conversation with my mom, with my coach, and very disappointed that I had to go back home and tell everybody that I didn't make the team. But in that moment, I was like, all right, so they said I wasn't ready. What is it that I need to work on to make sure I make the team next year when my name and number are called? So I went back, honed in on some of my skills, worked on my game, because no one at that time said, here is what your role will be on this team. I thought my role would be just whatever I wanted it to be, and that's just scoring the basketball and being the best player on the floor. So I go back a couple of years later, I get another invite, because with USA Basketball, it's all about getting in that pool, right? Once you get in the pool, you have an opportunity to make the Olympic team. So I go back the next year, and I go back with a different mindset, a different attitude of, I am absolutely going to make the team this year. Didn't make the team that year. I got cut from USA Basketball 3 different times before I finally proved myself and proved my worth and was able to make the 96 Olympic team. But I remember the second time I went and I got cut, it hurt and it hit a little different, because I went back home after that first time and really focused on what I thought my role would be and how I would fit with the other players that would be there. And my attitude at the time was, I am good enough to be on this team. So I don't understand why I'm not making it. It wasn't until I went back the third time where I really truly, I was older, I was wiser, and I really truly understood that it wasn't necessarily about me, but it was about where I would fit on that team and understanding my role. And the reason why I bring that up is because for me, it wasn't just about that moment and making the team, but it was about, even in life, right? Understanding what your role is on whatever team that is you're on. And even being in corporate America, just understanding what your role is and playing that role to the best of your ability, not to make yourself the best player, but to make the team the best team that it could be. So when I finally made the 96 Olympic team, it wasn't about me being the best player. It was about me being the best version of myself and fitting on the best team, because that 96 Olympic team had some hell of a talent on that team. And so for me, it was all about persistence. It was all about determination. It was always about, no matter how many times someone tells you no, to continue to believe in yourself and always work to be the best version of who you are, and understanding what your role is for the bigger and greater picture of the team. So for me, it wasn't just about making that 96 team, but having an opportunity to play on 3 Olympic teams and being the best version of myself to make the USA basketball team even better.
Wow. And that's incredible, because like when I think of your career, Sheryl, like, you not only raised the profile of women's basketball as a whole, but in the wake of the NCAA championship years ago, you were endowed with almost every prestigious collegiate and amateur honor imaginable, right? You win the Naismith, you win the Sullivan Awards, you're named Sportswoman of the Year by Women's Sports Foundation. Sports apparel companies like Nike called about endorsement contracts. But, you know, there was a grim reality, because all American women basketball players have to face something at some point, which is, at that point, having to go abroad in order to turn pro. That's like, it's a double standard, and yet you still persevered. You know, getting out of Italy, of course, was definitely beneficial, but it really does say a lot about the pioneer that you are, because a lot of women do look up to you, not just for the sport, but how you handle those obstacles. That must have been tough, not knowing what the future might hold, right?
Absolutely. And I remember, for me, being at Texas Tech, you know, like every single other player that even came before me, if we wanted to play professionally, the idea of playing here in the States absolutely didn't happen. So it was playing internationally and overseas. So the very first time I played overseas, to your point, it was in Italy. And, you know, I was young, just coming out of college. So I had no idea what to expect. But what I do want to say is, you know, I think lots of times, even today, when we talk about that experience of playing abroad and overseas, you know, the stories that you hear are horrific. Like, unfortunately, the situation that happened with Brittany Griner. But I do want to say, not all stories are like that, right? Like, other countries welcome us. They open their arms and say, "We want you. We see something in you that we respect and that we value." So as I got older, I truly understood what it meant to be able to play abroad and respecting the culture and learning something different. But I will say it wasn't the easiest thing for me. And especially when you talk about, being a mom, you're having to, being a single mom at times, having to raise your child, raise your family, you're going abroad to play. There's a lot that happened there where at any point I could have just said, this was way too much for me and I don't want to do it. But I've always tried to look at every situation and see the best in every situation and not make it about myself, but make it about leaving things better than I found it. And that's what I've always tried to do.
Yeah, and by all accounts, and again, that's the thing that I think people really appreciate is the fact that you do that. There are so many people over the last 30 some odd years that have a great Sheryl Swoopes story. And I love that a lot of it isn't about basketball. It's about the human being. And that really does say a lot. Guys and gals and pals, thank you for commenting as well. As you know, voting is an honorable thing. It means that someone resonated with you. And after this first topic, after Mr. Portis and Mr. Patrick, we will be voting again on topic number 1. Clinton, I'll ask you the same question, my friend. Can you provide an example where you doubled down on a particular dream or goal that you had, and did you find it effective when deciding to maximize your efforts on a particular goal or dream?
So before I answer that, I would like to say, Miss Swoopes, you, Sadia Roundtree, Shamika Holscar, Muriel Page, kind of put me on alert to women's college basketball. Don Staley, up to that point, it was like, I don't want to watch women play, but great job. And to you, Butch, my mom's favorite show is still Gunsmoke to this day. It's on Gunsmoke all day long. Like, it's a TV in the house that's just strictly for Gunsmoke. And it's the main TV. That's the worst part about it. She sets up in the living room, watch Gunsmoke from the morning to night. Whatever channel it comes on, it's constantly on. But for me, I think doubling down, a lot of my career was kind of highlighted coming out of the University of Miami. And it was known, I felt like I told everyone who would listen that asked me, why did I leave school early? Like, what am I doing? I should stay another year. And we had just won a national championship. We had a loaded running back room. It was like, it's nothing else for me to accomplish. I felt like I should be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft, and I ended up going 51. And I used that as motivation once I got the call from Denver. I remember talking to Coach Shanahan and telling him, like, bro, I'm gonna win Rookie of the Year. Like, you won't regret this. I'm gonna come in and give everything I need to give. Like, just listing accolades. Like, I'm gonna do it. I'm going to the Pro Bowl, Coach. Like, because I was so emotional and so upset that I didn't get drafted where I felt I should. And it turned out to be a blessing in disguise because I went to a great organization and going to the Denver Broncos. I had great teammates, Rod Smith, Ed McCaffrey, Shannon Sharp, Brian Greasy, Terrell Davis, Al Wilson. These guys just kind of like took me under their wing. And, it was a slow start in Denver, but I always tell people it was a slow start. When I finally got my opportunity, I took it and ran with it. But I didn't feel as if I had done enough. And my rookie year, I won Rookie of the Year, and it was still like I got something to prove. Like, I was upset with every team that didn't draft me, and everybody who I got an opportunity to play, I wanted to make sure that I punished them to show them you should have drafted me. And finally, I think it came down to, my second year in the league. It was just one of those moments. I had been competing with the great LaDainian Tomlinson and Charlie Garner up in Oakland and Priest Holmes in Kansas City. And it was like one of those divisions where whichever running back had the best game, team normally won. And I remember, having a conversation with Coach Shanahan after my rookie year, like, oh man, I outplayed my deal. And he was like, Portis, you're going to outplay your deal every year. So I can't redo your contract every year. You should probably be the first back to get X amount of dollars. And it was like, oh, okay, cool. And, you know, it was a handshake, and it came down to a week 14 matchup against the Broncos in Kansas City. And we were getting ready to play the Chiefs, and the Chiefs were number one. And, you know, the offense was unbelievable. And I went to the bank. Like, it was just one of those bet on myself. Every week I had to meet with my banker, and I think I had 120K in my account. And you know, I met a guy who owned a Mercedes-Benz dealership at the Nuggets game. You know, I went out to see Carmelo and them, and I met a guy who owned a Benz dealership. And, you know, to me, it was just one of those, I can do this. Like, I deserve this. Like, I'm playing my ass off. Like, I'm going to get this done. And, you know, I'm like, man, I want a Mercedes. And to get that Mercedes, I went to the bank to check on my account. I got 120K. Not a good idea to buy a Mercedes at the time. And I go to the dealership, and I fall in love. It's a Mercedes S500 silver, and it was a gray G-Wagon. I mean, a silver G-Wagon. And I love them both. I'm going back and forth and trying to make the decision, which one do I stunt with, which one do I take? Like, this going to be my moment. And I'm like, man, I really want them. You know, I can't make the decision. And he said, why don't you take them both? I said, take them both. Like, man, I got 120,000 in my account. I said, man, why don't you take them both? And I'm saying that to say, to bet on myself, because I believed in me so much, I took them both. I ordered both cars. My banker was like, she was like going crazy. Like, Portis, you can't do this. This isn't feasible, whatever. And I'm like, I even told her, I'm like, man, this is my moment. Like, we playing the Chiefs, this either now or never. And I called up, you know, I was running hard with Pastor Troy at the time, and a rapper out of Atlanta, you know, he was buzzing. And I remember calling him like, bro, bring the belt. This was on a Wednesday. I'm like, bro, bring the belt. Like, come to Denver, get everybody. Like, y'all come to the game. He like, man, like, everybody? I'm like, bring everybody. And he like, you really feel that way? I'm like, man, bring everybody, bring the belt. And, you know, I remember I never showed anyone the cars. Sunday, I pull up at the game, drop top, music blasting. I got the belt on the back seat. And, you know, I take it into the stadium. And at halftime of that game, I think I had like 12 carries, 52 yards, 2 touchdowns. And it was just something on me that said, you know, you worked this hard, you worked your butt off, like, this is your moment. And at halftime, I brought the belt to the sideline, and I gave it to Shannon Sharp as we walked out, and he shook his head like, man, you crazy. And at the end of the third quarter, I had 17 carries for 221 yards, 5 touchdowns. And I put the belt on the sideline kind of as one of those, like, I'm the champ, because I had outrushed LaDainian, I had outrushed Priest, and I had outplayed Charlie Garner in those games. You know, we play each of those teams twice a year, and it was kind of one of those believe in yourself. Like, Coach Shanahan instilled the dog mentality in me. My teammates was there for it, like, you up next, and just to go out and be able to prove, you know, like, I'm looking at Priest Holmes is a legend in my eyes. You know, I don't think he get the credit he deserves, but to go out and outplay Priest Holmes in a divisional game in Denver, like, it was one of the biggest moments. You know, not to say, and that happened in November. You know, I got traded in March, so it didn't last long, but I got my just due, I feel, as in that aspect of life, and I got an opportunity to go to the Pro Bowl. So it was one of those, like, you betting on yourself. Here's my opportunity. The stage is set. We're playing the number 1 team in the NFL, and everybody's watching, like, what you gonna do. So I think I risked my bank account. I risked my reputation. I invited all my friends. I spent out on the tickets, and to go out and play, knowing the pressure was on, to make that performance would be the one where I would say I doubled down. I doubled down and bought 2 Mercedes-Benz when I shouldn't have bought neither.
Yeah, but wow, what a story. What a story. And I'm going to read you the comments pretty soon here so you could see how you resonated with our audience, my friend. You brought something up that you brought up. Well, you brought it up probably, I think, maybe in the first 30 or 60 seconds about the draft, because after Carolina picked Deshaun Foster in the second round, you just weren't going to watch it anymore. You're on the highway. You're going to Tallahassee. You're like, hey, listen, I got a phone call telling me that you've been drafted. Now, I get that you were disappointed, of course, but I loved the after. That's the before. I love the after. Because using that as motivation, as you brought up, you make your presence known by earning Offensive Rookie of the Year. You join Eric Dickerson, who's part of this tournament, good friend. And, of course, Mr. James as the only rookies to rush for more than 1,500 yards in each of your first 2 seasons. Did you feel a sense of accomplishment when it came to the end of that first season?
I didn't, because, the end of the first season, I got cheated out of the Pro Bowl. So I should have went to the Pro Bowl my rookie year, but of course the voting happens week 12, week 10 to week 12, and my last 4 weeks were unbelievable for me to just really burst onto the scene. So it was kind of like my first year, I felt like I got cheated, although I was the rookie of the year. I wanted to go to the Pro Bowl, and then my second year I go to the Pro Bowl, and before I could bask in glory, I got traded like 2 weeks after the Pro Bowl. So it was just one of those situations, like, man, to go and you come from a situation in college, you just playing football. You just determined, like, man, I'm going to get my mama out of the hood. My mama ready to stop working. I'm going to take care of my family. To you get to the point, I'm in the NFL, and I got all of these promises that I made to myself about taking care and supporting people, and I couldn't the way that I wanted to. And it was just really one of those, I got to get to the point that I could tell my mom, you don't have to go to work anymore.
That's amazing. And yeah, I like that story too, because you were the youngest of all your siblings. So tough love, but man, you started playing ball when you were younger. I love the fact that you never gave up on yourself. And a lot of the viewers typed that down. They're like, you know what? I don't know if you're going to mind this, Clinton, but they're going to steal your quote. A bunch of people here are going to steal that. I'm never going to give up myself quote. I love that. I'm going to ask the same question to Butch Patrick. First topic, guys and gals and pals watching. Again, we appreciate all of you. And to the studio, you didn't believe in me last year doing this show, but now you do, so thank you. Jump on that bandwagon. Why not? But hey, at the end of the day, guys, topic 1 and 2 are going to be the same all around. Topic 3, thought-provoking questions. Everyone has a different question for that one. We'll get there. Mr. Butch Patrick, the same question, my friend. If you can provide an example of when you double down on a dream or a goal, and did you find it effective when maximizing your efforts on that goal or dream? Whenever you're ready, good sir.
Well, I am ready, but mine's a little different because I doubled down young in life, but I doubled down because I wanted to be a regular kid. I wanted to be a normal kid. I had a wonderful childhood. I got into the show business accidentally, never planned it. And, a lot of times people will ask me, how did you get into the show business? Did you decide you wanted to be an actor? And I pretty much tell them, I go, I don't think there's a whole lot of kids at 7 years old that decide, that they want to be, an actor, make a career of it. Usually it comes about in some, haphazard way. For me, my younger sister was the target of, my dad was kind of an influential guy in this city called Gardena. This was my father before my mom married Kenny Hutt, the baseball player. And they thought the guys, her husband wanted to be mayor, and she wanted to get the endorsement of my dad to run for mayor. And they thought a good way to do that would be to impress Dave with Michelle, his daughter, and take some pictures of her. And I went along for that ride that day. And they went up to Amos Carr, who was the go-to photographer in Hollywood for all the kid actors. And they took her pictures. And at the end of her shoot, he said, he's got a kind of a look. Do you mind if I take a couple shots of him for my own portfolio? And my mom said, sure. And one thing led to another. And the picture wound up in his window on Hollywood Boulevard. And a couple of months later, a producer and a director of the aforementioned Two Little Bears were walking by, and they noticed the look of this kid in the window, meaning me. And they said, do you know how we can get in touch with him? And he goes, well, he's not an actor. And they go, well, yes, but let us take care of that. And they tracked me down. And it was funny because my whole life has been all about timing. And this particular thing was Mary Grady was the mother of Don Grady, who was Robbie on My Three Sons. And she was working for an adult agency. but she was about to open the world's first child actors agency, child exclusive. And she was, basically looking for clients, no experience necessary. And they contacted her, and she contacted my mom, and I was in the second grade, and they said, would Butch like to go up for a movie role, part? And knowing nothing about it, I said, well, what's in it for me? I was kind of analytical at a young age. She says, well, you won't have to go to school for about a month. And I go, oh, that works for me. Okay, let's go. So I went up and met Randy Hood and George W. George, told them that I had no experience. I think I had played the littlest Christmas tree in a school play was my experience. And they go, you got to start somewhere, kid. And they hired me. And during that 6 weeks of work with, as you mentioned, Eddie Albert and Jane Wyatt, Soupy Sales, Brenda Lee was 15 years old. She played my older sister. It was a great little experience for 6 weeks to get my feet wet, so to speak. And during that period, I got a commercial, and then I got the first month of General Hospital. And this all occurred very fast. So now, to make fast forward a little bit, I'm working, and I'm having difficulty in school because kids are picking on me, and it's difficult to go back and forth. And I wanted to stay in the public school. I wanted to be accepted. I didn't want to be known as an actor. I really just wanted to play Little League and do things normal kids do, which I did most part. But I doubled down when I turned 16 years old. 1969 was a pivotal year, for me anyway. I got my first real serious girlfriend in March. I'm working. I got a Mach 1 Mustang picked out that I'm going to get in August. They're landing on the moon while I'm doing Marcus Welby with Robert Young. My girlfriend lives in Laurel Canyon, and once I get my Mach 1, Charlie Manson hits the hills right in our backyard. Crazy time. I mean, the movie that Quentin Tarantino just did, something about, oh God, what was it called? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That was my summer of 69. I mean, when you see that movie, that's what was going on. I mean, a 16-year-old kid with a new car and a hot girlfriend and money and sex, drugs, rock and roll, all happening to a kid that looks about 12 years old. But I was being a regular guy. I so much wanted to be a regular guy. The way I did it was by throwing the best parties and always having certain things, weed and booze and this and that. And I wanted to be accepted by my peers. That's how I doubled down. I didn't really care about Hollywood. I wanted to be accepted by my kids, by my friends and peers. What happened was that kind of led me down a path that, in the late 60s, unless you were there, it was a crazy time to be alive and in the music industry, and Haight-Ashbury and the Grateful Dead and Woodstock. And, it was the counterculture. It was an interesting time to be in Hollywood, let alone, or in society, but in Hollywood especially, it was crazy. And then being in Hollywood even more so. But I basically got wrapped up in some, drugs and alcohol stuff that lasted 40 years. And 13 and a half years ago, this is where I doubled down again late in life, is I went in to get sober. And that's been the biggest achievement of my life, bar anything. And that's the thing that I'm most proud of, helping other people. People think that you're on television, you can, it's interesting, that magic box, how they view you. They view you usually as a millionaire. You're not, you're just a regular guy that made a few bucks. They look upon you as special, and I never wanted to be special. So my whole career in life has been kind of like a double, almost like a dual life situation. You go to work, you go in the studios, you do your thing behind studio gates. You meet a lot of famous people. You're sort of people think you have a sense of, a lot of people in acting think they're entitled to certain things. I never really, but I was just a regular guy that was in the business, came back. I wanted to take my money and buy a race car when I was 19 years old. That was my goal. So that kind of never worked out. But now late in life, with the people that have survived the addiction and alcohol issues, and there's a lot of them out there. It's kind of a cool club to be part of now with rock stars and movie stars and stuff. My biggest gift, I guess, right now in life is, number one, I had cancer when I went in. I went in to get sober. I found out I had cancer 3 months after I was in there. I thought I was going to die. Survived that. 20 years before that, I was in a bad car wreck. I broke my back. I survived that. So for some reason, God has kept me around, and I'd like to think I'm right where I'm supposed to be right now, doing good things. And it used to be, it was called Alcoholics Anonymous, but in this day and age, it's not anonymous anymore. And being visible and being vocal about it is how I help people take that first step towards their sobriety and whatever their issues are. So that's what I've doubled down on.
Number one, thank you for sharing that. That's very deep and personal. Man, you overcame a ton, my friend. And and it's funny because when I think about a lot of people's stories when they try to get into the business in film and TV, I didn't want to get into this business as a writer. I was a history teacher. I was content with my salary, but then things happen. And with you, it's almost as if you didn't want to be the center of attention, right? Because it's not all it's cracked up to be. In hindsight, you wouldn't have minded being like a location scout or something, right? If you had a choice.
Yeah, that's down. What I didn't, the biggest thing on the third question, I was going to allude to that. But yes, I actually used to do a thing called How to Get into Show Business the Right Way with a woman from Cleveland who was helping kids and people get into show business that were getting ripped off by, there are certain companies that bait you into coming in and spending a bunch of photos taken in this. I won't name names, but she worked for one of them inadvertently. And when she saw what they were doing, she blew the whistle on them, ran them out of Cleveland, and then replaced her company with their company. And we went on the road to tour, and it was called How to Get into Show Business the Right Way. And what I would tell people during these seminars, because literally the chances of becoming a star and making a living in the business is almost like a little leaguer making it to the major leagues. It's, I'm not against kids playing baseball in little league, but the chances are very, very, very low. Yeah. So what I would tell people, I said, at the end of the movie, the next time you go to a movie, look at all the names that scroll down for 18 minutes while you're waiting there. All of those people are in the industry. All of those people make a good living. All of those people have benefits. And as long as your ego is okay not to be in front of the camera and you don't need to be a star, but you want to be in the industry and be around fun stuff, that's what you should be targeting, because no matter what you're good at, there's a very good chance something in the industry that you can do. I don't care if it's driving a car and being part of transportation, but for me, what I thought I would have, had I thought it through back in the time, instead of leaving the industry cold, just walking away from it.
Sure.
I thought it through about, you're going to have to make a living, and what would you be good at? And for me, I like to travel. I understand scripts. I understand politics. I understand permits, and a location scout, I think, would have been the perfect job for someone who knows what is required from paper to a screen, and also having the personality to go in and work with city officials to make stuff happen.
And a bit of anonymity too. Yeah, absolutely.
And a bit of anonymity.
I love it. But you know what? I'm not going to be random about this, although I want to ask Sheryl this question. You brought up a show. Sheryl never spoke about this, but you brought up a show called General Hospital. Sheryl, you like General Hospital. That was one of your favorites, right?
Yeah, absolutely. My Sonny Corinthos.
Sonny Corinthos. Yes, Maurice Bernard. Okay, true story. I don't know if you know the casting director, Butch, Mark Teschner, but he for CBS, General Hospital for 18 years. He's been the casting director. Maurice Bernard is probably the nicest human being. Sonny Corinthos plays the big mobster, but he's kind of a fun, goofy guy in real life. So there you go.
My grandmother got me hooked on Young and the Restless and General Hospital. And if grandma says sit down on her sofa with the plastic on it,
yes.
You sit down on the sofa. Well, you actually sit on the floor. You don't even sit on the sofa. But yeah, she's the one that got me into my soap operas.
Hey, Jason's still doing his thing on General Hospital. You still got Jason there, so I like that. Guys and gals, and Carly.
And Carly.
Yeah.
My grandmother, when I was younger, I used to travel all over the country with her, and she called them her stories. It was always time for her stories.
Right? Not soap operas. It was stories. Absolutely.
I love that. Guys and gals and pals, this was topic number 1. Right now, we're going to turn over to you. We're going to find out who resonated most with you. We'll move on to topic 2, which is very light and very fun. Let's bring in our first judge, Kelly White. Kelly, my friend, who resonated most with you and why? I know this was challenging. It would be challenging for me if I were in your big shoes.
Challenging? I mean, can't you get some people to come in and a couple just throw it, make it easy? But no, you gotta bring these guys in. And wow, Clinton, and I'm going to think of you forever now, is Clinton 2 cars, Portis. Wow. Miss Swoopes, loved your story. I think you and Clinton both hit the nail on the head with having to believe in yourself. I've been lucky in my life. I've faltered a few times, but I always had somebody. But, if you never pick that ball up and believe in yourself, eventually those people are going to fall by the wayside. You've got to be your own biggest supporter. Butch, the irony in your story, man, it grabs me because the first time you double down it was really with a bunch of unhealthy stuff. So you could like hang with your buds and be the guy and be the normal guy. And then, 40 years later, you double down on yourself personally to put all that behind you. And I think that's amazing. So everybody resonated with me, but I got to tip my hat slightly to Sheryl when you talked about, how you felt you deserved this and they said, no, you're too young, and they pushed back several times. You kept going back to the well, not saying they're wrong, but asking yourself why. And the big thing that got me, you didn't do it just for yourself. You did it for the team. And to me, that's a huge thing. And by just a slight margin, I've got to give you my vote on that.
Mr. White, appreciate that. And Kelly, you know a lot about teamwork, so I appreciate your vote.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you, my friend. Guys and gals, Kelly White voted. And now we're going to pull up your votes. And Clinton, Butch, and Sheryl will see your votes as well. We'll move on to topic number 2. Can't count all of them, guys and gals and pals. Let's see. Andrea says, I'm going to vote for Sheryl Swoopes. Thank you. Joining us from Spain. We appreciate that. Kate votes for Sheryl as well. Okay. Phil, 3 great stories. Butch hit me deeper. Vote for Butch. 60s were intense. Okay. We have another vote from Lewis, who votes for Sheryl. Rita votes for Butch. Accomplishing something harder than the physical competition. Lester votes Butch. And McKenna says it's hard to not resonate with Sheryl's story. I'll vote for Sheryl. And Elise concurs. And we have 2 straight for Butch from Christopher and Dion. Remember, guys, this is cumulative. Top 2 vote getters, as always, move on to round number 2 of this tournament in a few months. We are at the 11th hour of round 1. Ramon says, I'm going to vote for Sheryl. And Johnny agrees and also votes for Sheryl. Mr. 2000 votes for Patrick. Natasha votes for Clinton. And Andrew Red votes for Clinton Portis. Mr. Portis gets your vote. Appreciate that. The Davis votes for Butch Patrick. Allison agrees. And Julie, emphatically with an exclamation point, also votes for Butch. Very good. We have Howard Collado, definitely resonate with Butch. Vote for Butch. All 3 shared beautifully. You're right. I know it sounds very sappy, but I always say I'd rather be sappy than cynical. We're learning a lot. There are no losers here. Only winners. And we're the ones who benefit from Butch, Clinton, and Sheryl being with us live tonight on a Saturday, so thank them. Chad votes for Butch. And Julie Hall votes for Butch. Giselle votes for Sheryl. Speaking of Sheryl, shout out to Kate. Kate, you rock backstage. Thank you. Allison, she's been amazing, Sheryl. I will put my vote in for Sheryl Swoopes. Very good. We have your vote. Okay. See if I missed any over here. We have Alan voting for Clinton Portis. I think Ramon concurs. Let me pull this up. See if I missed any over here, guys. And I think I'm going to count this thing down and move on to the second topic right now. Mary votes for Sheryl. All right, guys, let me count it down. It is a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. There's a 5. You know there's a 4 and a 3 and a 2 and 1. There's a 0. So, guys and gals and pals, round number 2 is upon us right now. Let me introduce the topic as we rotate the order. It's called Ideal Co-Star. Why not? Because you know how they say the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. But in movies, this applies to have an incredible individual performance from actors, which ultimately results in the kind of magic that resonates with the audience. How do you do that, though? Whether it's a rom-com, whether it's a buddy flick, whether it's a horrible script I wrote for the studio, whether it's ensemble drama, nothing elevates a story quite like the energy that's shared between 2 actors. When you watch the lead actors dance, it's like an elusive tango. It addresses the chemistry. They play off one another in sync. That transforms the movie, the story, the chemistry, into a truly unforgettable masterpiece. So, if Clinton and Sheryl and Butch could be their very own casting directors and cast the ideal storyteller or actor, regardless of the genre or theme, who would they cast and why? Clinton, I'll ask you first, my friend. Again, regardless of the genre, if you could cast someone to be your co-star, who would it be and why, good friend?
If I could cast anyone to be my co-star, you know, it's tough because I love Chris Tucker. And I would have to go with Martin Lawrence. You know, we discussed this all, and it was Chris Tucker or Martin Lawrence. But when I look at Martin and Eddie Murphy and what they brought to the screen for us, as many characters as they used to play in a single movie or show, just being available and all of the characters being great. You know, I think about Martin as a show and You watch some of his movies where he played multiple roles, and he's always just been one of those people. Even when he's serious, it's like a smile on his face. He's going to make you laugh. He brings a different element just through all of his roles. When you think of Martin just as a sitcom, how we gathered on a Thursday night to sit and watch it as a family, like families don't do that anymore. But for my time, Thursday night, it was all about Martin. Monday, it was about Will Smith. And, you had Living Single come on Thursday. And it was just you sitting down and you're glued to the TV and you think of all these characters and all of them were hilarious. All of them gave you something, and you fell in love with one person. You fell in love with a character, but all of those characters was one person. So when I look at it, I would say Martin Lawrence. I don't think the credit that he gets in Hollywood for his contributions. You look at Life as one of my favorite movies. Just everything about him, the way he carries himself, him as an actor, him as a person, overcoming the adversity he's overcome, just been a great human being, and how many people that he's put on and given the opportunity to star as well. So I would say Martin Lawrence.
I remember what the recently departed, rest in peace, Louis Gossett Jr., the legend, what he said about Martin Lawrence. He said when he watched Life, it was the first movie that he cried as much as he laughed. And I'm like, oh, wait, that kind of had the same effect on me because Martin Lawrence played a very understated character. So for all the casting directors and Hollywood types who thought, oh, he's just a funny man, he can make you laugh, he played a very straight character, a very straight role, and it was so linear, and you never really saw him. And after about 5 minutes, you're forgetting this is Martin Lawrence. So, man, great movie. I think it came out in 99. Life was a powerful movie, without question. Guys and gals and pals, again, let us know what you think as well in the comment section. I'm going to ask the same question to Mr. Butch Patrick, whether it's a rom-com, buddy flick, ensemble drama. Who would you select as your co-star, regardless of the genre, and why, my friend?
When I found out about this topic, it's like being a movie fan. I mean, that's one of the things that it's so enjoyable for me. I really am a fan of movies. I love being, watching them and going to them. And I'm, so being around the studios for a 12-year-old kid was like, oh my gosh, when you have free time, you could go explore and all these people around that you see on the big screen. This is like the hardest topic, but I think I can go with this is, believe it or not, I love old school visuals, John Ford, Westerns, Americana, the big sunsets, the horses. As a kid, I liked it because I could ride a horse. My uncle was a jockey, and I used to go to Hollywood Park at 4:30 in the morning and watch him exercise horses. And doing Westerns as a kid was always a lot of fun because you could be dirty and you were outside, and it wasn't a typical Hollywood show. And I did a Rawhide with Clint Eastwood, and I did a couple of Gunsmokes and a couple of Bonanzas, and the Death Valley days, and just enough to get a feel for the Westerns. But I love the fact that most Westerns take place in really beautiful locales. And I imagine what it must have been like to be back only 140 years ago. It was crazy. I mean, those guys were like tough, real tough. I mean, imagine what it must have been like. I can't imagine. I actually had an honorary day at Tombstone. They gave me a Butch Patrick day at Tombstone because I would go over there and do stuff with a friend of mine. But so I'm going to say I would love to be involved in a Western. I would have loved to have been involved a few years ago when Clint Eastwood was a little younger because I love his movies. But to this day, believe it or not, one of the guys I really would like to work with would be, especially since he's got that genre down really well, would be, there's a few, but let's go with Kevin Costner on a Western. I think that I've never met him. I would like to meet him. It was a tough call between him and Mel Gibson. And there's so many good ones out there, Robert Downey Jr. I mean, I could go on and on. The list is there. But I think a Western, because of the visuals and the Wild West and the John Ford angle, I think that would be something I would like to work with Kevin Costner.
I love that. And, Butch, no one ever mistake me for a cowboy. But I got some trigger fingers. As you were bringing up Butch Patrick Day, this may be grainy, but I just pulled this up. Is this it? I think this is the image, right? Is this it right here?
That's it.
There we go. There we go, guys and gals. Fastest trigger in Jersey. That is Butch Patrick Day, guys and gals. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Awesome stories. Yeah, Kevin Costner. What a great. Guys and gals and pals, again, we have one more topic to go right after this one, right after Miss Sheryl Swoopes will let us know who she would select as a great possible co-star, regardless of the genre. Are you ready to go, my friend?
I am so ready. I'm ready. First of all, I love Martin. Love Kevin Costner, especially in The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston. God rest her soul. So for me, I did it a little different. I didn't go with anybody that's already in Hollywood. Avi, you brought it up. You said it, and I had the same thought. My co-host is going to be the one and only greatest of all time, Michael Jordan. Okay? And Michael Jordan, because he and I are going to remake, and I know y'all have seen it, Love and Basketball. Like, if you haven't seen it, you've heard of it, you got to watch it. We have to remake Love and Basketball. Like Omar Epps, Sanaa Lathan, I thought they did their thing in the movie. But to be able to remake it with Michael Jordan, it would be so realistic. Right? Like, we have so many things in common. Michael Jordan with his Air Jordan, me with my Air Swoopes, and we're remaking the movie. Like, this was one of my favorite movies of all time because it's so real, right? Sanaa, there's no WNBA. She's having to go overseas and play basketball, which is exactly what I did. But this would be different. I think this would be more realistic. It would be very competitive. I've actually had an opportunity to play one-on-one against Michael Jordan. Won't tell y'all who won. But I got to play one-on-one with Michael Jordan. And I just think this would not only be fun, but it would be competitive. It would be realistic. I love the part in the movie where she tells Omar, "I'll play you for your heart." I don't know if I'm saying that line to Michael, but I just think it would be really cool for us to be able to remake that movie and just make it more realistic. So Michael Jordan would absolutely be my co-host in a movie.
I love that pick. Yeah, and you know what's funny is that actually there's a tribute video for you and for Butch and for Clinton right after the third topic. There is a little bit of a sneak peek about that game, the Michael Jordan Sheryl Swoopes game. We'll see a little bit of that there. I love that choice. And guys and gals and pals who are commenting, thank you for inviting us to your living room. We're having a great time. Hey, give it up again for Sheryl Swoopes, Butch Patrick, and Clinton Portis. They are here. They're giving you their time, and that's awesome. Right now, Kelly J. White is going to give us his time. We're going to find out who he votes for and why. The floor is yours, good sir.
Wow. You guys doing it again to me. Nobody makes life easy, do they?
Of course not.
Clinton, yeah, Martin Lawrence, especially the movie Life, man. That's a one hell of a movie, brother. It really is. I love it. You gonna eat your cornbread. It's one of my favorite lines from any damn movie. So I love that. I think you touched really well on why you would pair well with Martin. Butch, you're the man with the experience in this whole arena, and you went through like the whole Western genre. I think Paladin and the Rifleman were maybe the only two things you didn't touch on. And Kevin Costner for Western just makes perfect flipping sense. He's done a lot of them. He is versatile, but yeah, Westerns, Yellowstone, he does really great with that. Brittany, Michael Jordan, which I think he was a little involved with Space Jam, so he's not, non-Hollywood 100%, but that was a real interesting choice. Remaking.
Kelly, I don't know this. I've never met him. But from what I hear, you do not tell Mr. Jordan that he can't do something well. That's what I hear.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't. And if I played one-on-one with Michael Jordan, I can tell you who won before we ever flipping started, dude. I mean, playing basketball is kind of like watching an ostrich play soccer. It's not pretty. But the way you wrap that into remaking that movie, you obviously know the movie real well. You mentioned, some of the other original actors and wanting to kind of bring it a bit grittier. Again, just by a very slight margin, Sheryl, you're getting my vote on round 2. If you keep it up, you'll be the first person ever got all 3 of them. So I'm just throwing it out as a challenge. You get my vote round 2. Appreciate all of you, though.
So, Kelly, a vote is official is for?
Vote is officially for Sheryl Swoopes.
Sheryl Swoopes. Thank you, Mr. White. Appreciate you, my friend. And guys, now we are going to turn it over to you in the comment section, and let's see which way you go. We have a vote from Rita. Love all the choices. Being a lover of Westerns, I vote for Butch. Thank you, Rita. Appreciate that. We also have Chad. Appreciate you. I'm going to have to vote for Clinton in topic number 2. Phil, G, they are making it so hard, Butch, by a very narrow margin. Okay, and Giselle, thank you for tallying back there. We appreciate you tallying. Johnny McKinney is voting for Sheryl Swoopes. Chris Davis is voting for Mr. Clinton Portis. Jeff Reeder Jr. voting for Mr. Butch Patrick. Lester Cook voting for Mrs. Sheryl Swoopes. That's a lot of votes coming in here. That's Lester and Alikin voting for Sheryl, 2 straight for Sheryl. Natasha also votes for Butch in this round. Mary voting for Sheryl because she chose someone she looked up to and wants to remake movies. Yeah. Elise votes for Sheryl, and Lewis concurs and also votes for Sheryl. Christy Johnson, thank you, voting for Butch. And Ramon, thank you for your vote, voting for Clinton, as does Dion. All right. We have Dragon 2000 voting for Butch. Love the Westerns. Kate Hart voting for Mr. Clinton Portis. Julie Hall says this was tough. I'm going to vote for Sheryl this time. And Julie Red concurs and also will vote for Sheryl. Allison Wheaton says, I absolutely love Cheryl's idea, so I'll put my vote in for Sheryl again. Howard votes for Clinton, and as does Andrea, voting for Mr. Clinton Portis. Giselle votes Sheryl. Alexander votes Clinton. Hauser votes Clinton. Andrew Red votes Sheryl Swoopes. All right, guys and gals, I think I'm going to tally this thing up and count it down so we can move on to our final topic. Sean, I got your vote too. You voted for Sheryl. Thank you. Counting that vote. Okay. Let's count this thing down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. There's a 5 and a 4 and a 3 and a 2 and 1. That is a 0. So, guys and gals and pals, topic number 3, the final topic is before us right about now. So, thought-provoking questions, all different for the first time all night long. And then we're going to find out which 2 of these greats, these luminaries, will move on to round 2 of a very star-studded field that has, as of tonight, 119 Hall of Famers from the world of sports, music, pro wrestling, not to mention Oscar, Grammy, Tony, Emmy, Golden Globe, AMA, WGA, and Olympians, all competing for the pride of the prize. Guys, topic number 3, we're going to kick things off with Mr. Butch Patrick. Butch, the question I sent you was, have you ever impulsively acted in a way that changed your life forever? And whenever you're ready, good sir, the floor is yours.
Yes. I was surfing. This is 1971, I believe. I was down surfing. I had just finished doing a Saturday morning show for Sid and Marty Krofft called Lidsville. A couple years before, I had done a movie in Brazil, which I was looking forward to, like jumping from television into the movie realm, and it was going to be nominated for Oscars, and I was going to get a best supporting Oscar nomination. So I was very excited about this time. What happened was, the producer and his wife, Rhonda Fleming, got into a very bitter Hollywood divorce, and she won half the rights to his movie in the divorce. And instead of releasing the movie, we had billboards on Sunset and everything. We were ready to make the launch. He shelved the movie to keep her from getting any money. And so it was the movie, The War of the Roses, is actually based on them living in this house together and sharing it and not getting along. It was, so what happened was I was very kind of bummed out. I was smoking and drinking too much, and I'm down at the beach surfing, and a director comes up to me, an unknown director by the name of George Lucas, and comes up to me and says basically I have very long hair here, and he says, I'm going to tell you right now, I got this idea for this movie, but you're going to have to cut your hair. And I said, I'm not cutting my hair for anything. And I jumped back in the water and paddled away. And 2 years later, I see American Graffiti. And he wanted me to be the lead in American Graffiti if I would have cut my hair. And I never gave him the opportunity to even offer it. So acting abruptly and being pissed at Hollywood and being stupid and young, I basically made a life-altering decision on the spur of the moment without hearing the gentleman out, because I was being an idiot at the time. So that was when I saw that movie, and every person in that movie went on to huge things. It was like everybody in Hollywood has one of these, they missed the part. They did something stupid. Well, that was mine, and that pretty much led me to stay out of Hollywood for the rest of my life, at least actively. I would get people coming to me occasionally for stuff, but I stopped going on interviews.
We have a question from Tim here asking, how was it working with Mr. Fred Gwynne?
Fred was amazing. He was such a good actor. I actually, I was in the green room at a convention recently, and Robert Wall, fine actor, Arliss.
He's in the tournament.
Yeah, I was going over to introduce myself to him, and he stopped me before I could get to him. And he goes, "Let me ask you a question, Butch. Were you aware of the greatness that you were working with Mr. Fred Gwynne?" And I said, "Not as much as I should have at the time, but he was wonderful to me. We had a lot of great father and son stuff. He taught me some acting techniques. I enjoyed my time with him very much. He was really a good guy. But Fred Gwynne was an amazing talent."
Tim, thank you for that question. We appreciate you guys and gals participating as well. And, you know, again, there aren't too many shows. When you really want to think about it, there aren't too many shows that can allow 3 generations to sit down, watch it all together, and enjoy it. I think of the Munsters.
Well, you know, people ask me, do you ever get tired of, people asking you about being on the Munsters? And I don't. And the reason it's easy to do, and the reason I enjoy it so much, is it means so much to them on the other side of the table. They're coming to meet you with a big smile on their face, and this show has been something in their family that they would watch with their favorite uncle or a grandparent, somebody that's maybe no longer with them, and it's fond memories, and it helps them through tough times or depression. And it's amazing that you share this little moment for a few minutes with some people, and it means so much, and it radiates positive energy both ways, that they do as much for me as me meeting them. I get as much out of it. And the fact that I always try to find something to turn it around and ask them about. So I've lived in almost every state, so that it's easy for me to find something that's comfortable that we can relate to outside of Hollywood. And I always try to make it special in that respect.
Lived in almost every state. We have to talk about that at some point next week off camera. Yeah, that's amazing. Guys and gals and pals, I will turn it over to Mrs. Sheryl Swoopes. The question I have for you, Sheryl, that I sent you was, can a person be true to him or herself while also bending to the needs of others? Whenever you're ready, my friend. And again, guys, for some of our viewers here asking again, and repeat, guys, the viewers who asked me to repeat the question, I think it's Lester. I'm going to repeat it again, Lester. Maybe my mic was off. Can a person be true to him or herself, Sheryl, while also bending to the needs of others?
Okay, so that was not my question that you sent me.
Really? Okay, so Sheryl, this is embarrassing for me. So first off, I do apologize.
Well, I mean, I can answer it, but I really like the one you sent me.
No, I would love to be able to actually go through the question that I sent you. Guys, this is totally on me. Never happened. So let me bring this up. It's live, and we are here live. Sheryl, if you can please delve into the question that I sent you. The floor is yours.
Do you want me to tell you what it was so everybody knows? And before I do that, someone had a question that said, where did I get my glasses?
Yes.
I got them off of Facebook, and it's the site or whatever it was called, Zoo Glasses. ZOO Glasses.
Okay. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Guys, the question I asked Sheryl,
I'm old school.
And I want to get that. The question I asked Sheryl, and again, guys, forgive me, is do you have any internal rules that you live by no matter what?
That was it.
There you go, my friend.
That was it. Gosh, this has been so great. You know what I love about this? These are such thought-provoking questions that I've never gotten in just a regular interview. I don't know about Butch or Clinton, but these have been really good. And for myself, because they've made me think. And I will say this. I don't know if you can see my shirt. My shirt says unapologetic. My internal rule that I try to live by every single day is just being true to who I am, regardless of what's going on around me, what situations you may encounter. I think when I was younger, I was such a people pleaser that I always wanted to make everybody happy. And it wasn't about me being authentically myself, being true to myself. And as I've gotten older and I hope wiser, I really try to be true to who I am. And I learned that you can't please everybody. You can't make people happy all the time. People are always going to judge you. They're always going to question you. They're always going to look at everything you say regardless. And so since that's going to happen anyway, I always try to remain true to who I am. And in doing that, I try to live by the old saying of treat people the way you want to be treated. And I do believe that that is so true in life today. And for me, it's always been about trying to do the right thing, say the right thing, but not for other people or for everybody else, but for myself. So that when I go to bed at night, I sleep very well because I try to be the best version of myself. I try to be the best human that I can be. And I just really honestly, genuinely try to be a good person. You know, basketball for me, I might get emotional. Basketball for me it's been amazing. Like, it's allowed me to travel the world, to meet some amazing, incredible people. It's given me the opportunity to do things like this. And these are things that I don't take for granted. And in saying that, I always try to remain true to who I am. And that's not always great in other people's eyes. But at the end of the day, for me, if I can look myself in the mirror every single day, and even at night when I lay down, if I can look myself in the mirror and say, you did the best that you could do in your eyes and according to what you think, then I'm pretty pleased with that. I don't know. I am who I am, and you're either going to like me being who I am, or you don't, right? But I do. I try to be the best person I can be. So what you see is what you get.
No, I totally appreciate that. And you know what? There's so much to your story, which, just doing some research, I have to tell you, there's so many things that really speak to me because, you know, to take some of your other interests, for instance, like what you did and what you're still doing when you're finding ways to give back to the African-American community is amazing. And doing it through gardening, teaching the youth. You know, when I was teaching history, I couldn't talk about the Buffalo Soldiers. I couldn't talk about Diane Nash, who's one of the last freedom riders still alive. They wouldn't let me talk about the real history, which stinks. But the fact that you're able to find different ways to connect to people and still bring them together through other activities, like, that's amazing. That means you have such a broad scope of relating to people, Cheryl.
You know, I always say this: basketball, as much as it's done for me, has been amazing. But I kind of feel like basketball was like my platform to be able to do bigger and better things. And to your point, with my foundation, Back to Our Roots, and being able to teach African American kids the importance of understanding what's in your food, what's going in your food, being able to grow your own food. That's something that I wasn't taught. So it's important for me to be able to pass that along and share that with my community. And basketball has given me that opportunity to do that. So I'm very grateful and thankful that I had that opportunity. Absolutely.
I like the fact that the kids have to write an essay explaining what they know about Africa, and if chosen, what they're hoping to absorb from the actual trip.
Well, part of what we do with Back to Our Roots, and we started it during COVID, and unfortunately we weren't able to do it. That is, to your point, writing essays, and we choose the best ones, and then we actually will take a group of 10 kids to Africa, and hopefully so they can understand their heritage and where they come from, and because unfortunately history is not being taught in our schools anymore. So I try to do my part and do just a little bit of what I can do, and that's part of what we do with Back to Our Roots.
Well, thank you. As a former teacher, thank you for what you do. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Guys and gals and pals, an incredible night because of Butch Patrick and Clinton Portis and Sheryl Swoopes and Kelly White in the back as well. I'm going to ask a question right now, guys and gals, as this is, again, our thought-provoking question. This is a different question for everybody. My question for Butch. Excuse me.
No.
Question for Clinton. To pull up a different topic for Cheryl. And guys and gals, again, my fault there. Cheryl, thank you for reminding me. Clinton, we're going to finish things up right now with the question I sent you, which is, do you have any, well, this might be the same question. I'm not sure if I sent you the same one. Do you have any internal rules that you live by no matter what?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I lost the audio to Sheryl and
Oh, did you?
and Butch. Yeah, I can't hear either.
Okay, are you able to hear me, my friend?
I can hear you, but I can't hear them.
Oh, wow. Guys and gals and pals, again, thank Clinton Portis and Butch and Sheryl for being here live. Live tech is not up to us. We are doing our very best. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Clinton, the third question, my friend, the third topic, the floor is yours whenever you are ready to go, my friend.
Ask the question again.
The question I had sent you, I believe, might have been the same one I sent to Sheryl. Do you have any internal rules that you live by no matter what?
Since Sheryl answered that one, I can answer the other one that you gave her.
Absolutely, sure. Can a person be true to him or herself while also bending to the needs of others?
I don't think you can. I think in order, we're taught to be so helpful in this world, which is great. Everyone tries that. Everyone tries to give back. Everyone tries to participate in the community. But if you're not okay, it's hard to go out and continuously smile, knowing you're unhappy, knowing you're dealing with whatever, knowing you're going through life alone. So I'm sure if you were to ask Butch about his journey or Sheryl about her journey, they could all tell you how much they were in rooms where they put smiles on everyone else's face and they were miserable, especially if dealing with sobriety or dealing with life, being a single mom, as an African-American woman. Like, you have the whole world available to you, but you're not talking to anyone. And we put so much time into trying to hide our truth that we ignore, and that's where the depression comes in. That's where the loneliness, the aggravation, the people just vanish. Some of our childhood faves or heroes or whatever, however you look at it, that's how they vanish into the sunset, and we never hear from them because we don't take the time out to fix us. We don't take the time out to celebrate us. We don't take the time out to enjoy us. And it's so many people that count on us. There's so many people around us. There's so many people that you want to be there for, that they're not there for you. So I think it's very hard to bend to someone else when you're not okay. And having that question is just one of those moments where, for me, I was in an unfortunate situation, and the positive that I got out of that situation, to go to prison at 40, to sit in prison walls, knowing how much you've done for the world, knowing how much you've given yourself to people. And I get caught up in a situation that I had nothing to do with. It probably could have been easily settled, but me being me and believing in me and doubling down on me and feeling as if, this is going to work because I had nothing to do with it in the entire world. I feel like someone is going to step up and say, hey, that's not the Clinton I know. But to sit in silence, to sit in a prison at the age of 40, you go through life and you got a family, you got all these people you support, you've done all this stuff. And I go to prison at the age of 40. I get sentenced on my birthday, and the only thing you could think of is, how do I become a better me? And I think the thought of me becoming a better me, it was to take care of self. I can't take care of everybody else. I got to quit trying. I can't be there for everybody else. Like, I have to focus on me. When it's only up to you. You can't call me. You can't come see me. We can't hang. Like, I'm sitting in this prison wall, and you have to go on with life. I think all of us need, and I did this for 6 months, and it was the best 6 months that I've had in a long time. And the reason why is because you have so many people in prison that shouldn't be there, but no one really cares if you did it or not. And you have so many God-fearing men that you say, why aren't they in society? How do we get these people back into society? And how did they do 15 years and 20 years for these simple charges, a drug case, nonviolent, but you got people that's in for robbing millions or getting away with all of this stuff, and they're in and out. So to sit amongst men that were so faithful, that done 15 years for a drug charge in the 90s, or, you know, had a couple rocks, and, you know, their debt is forgiven, but in society where they could be used, where you could help as a worker, where you got kids depending on you, you're sitting here rotting away. But to be amongst those people, for me, was one of the most humbling experiences, because I was a number just like them. And in becoming a number, all the accolades, everything that you've done, I'm talking over their head to say, hey, you know what? I was in Haiti doing groundwork. I was in New Orleans. I was here doing this building. I was here trying to do that. You're talking over their head. Only thing these people are trying to do is get home. And they were so God-fearing and so positive that you say, man, society, the world is cut off to a whole bunch of positive people because they made a mistake. And I don't think I made a mistake, but I think God put me in that situation at that moment because I needed to just stop and listen. Like, I needed to hear God. I needed to see what these people was dealing with. I needed to be able to come out and speak, to have a platform and say, hey, you know what? If they can change, I can change. And we do it. You can listen to rap music. You see it in videos and everything else. You look at the Jay-Z's of the world. You look at the Dr. Dre's, all these people who, Snoop Dogg, where they started and where they are now to become the men that they are, the family, you know, they're all on TV, where we idolize these people, but we forget they started where we started, and they had to recover, they had to overcome, and they got another opportunity, and they did that. And I think for the world, we need to be more forgiving. We need to take the time out to be more forgiving, to get more of our people home and understand that although we can't help everyone, like, it's people that need our help.
Wow. I take these things off my face here to look at you guys like, wow, that's one hell of a story, man. Because you're right. Like, so there's different people, and you mentioned a lot of people that have that stigma, and they can't shake off that stigma, because how can you stop being a prisoner of your past when people don't allow you to become the architect of your future? Because they're hanging something above your head. They're not letting you build. They're not letting you move forward. And you know what you're capable of, but people are telling you, no, you're not, or no, you're just that one thing. And now all of a sudden you're labeled because you're under some microscope. And I don't know what that's like, but Butch and Clinton and Sheryl, you do, because you're under that microscope. Like, I really applaud you guys for handling yourselves as human beings the way that you do, because I wouldn't know what it's like for one day to live in your world. It's like, it's crazy to think how much scrutiny somebody can receive from complete strangers that don't even know you. They may know your name, but they know nothing about you.
No doubt. I don't know. Sorry, because Clinton, it's so powerful. I just think sometimes people tend to forget that we're people in humans first. Right. Like we hurt just like you hurt. We cry just like you cry. Right. And that's why I said this for me is very, like, this is also very therapeutic. Like, I know it's a competition per se, but it's been very, very, very good. Thank you.
No, thank you, Sheryl. I appreciate you. Yeah, you know, a little quick story. The studio I worked for is one of the best film studios in the world, but they didn't want me to do this show a year ago because they said it's going to be too real. I said, that's the reason why I'm doing this show. That's why. Guys and gals, Clinton is backstage. He'll be joining us momentarily. Now I'm going to bring in Mr. Kelly J. White. I know. How do you vote on personal experiences? How do you vote on the human heart? I don't know. But Kelly, did Clinton, Butch, or Sheryl all resonate with you? I know they did. Who are you lending your vote to and why? Good sir.
Wow. Yeah, Avi, you just make up these questions and let me sort it out, don't you? Just going chronological order. Butch, first off, I appreciated your work back in the day when I was a little kid. I wanted to be Eddie Munster. I really did. And I see your picture of Fred Gwynn back there as Herman. That's just flipping awesome. And I was thinking your story, and, you know, it's like, you know, putting myself in your shoes, and it's like, you know, I don't have the experience to put myself in the shoes of that, but to me, it's like somebody walking up and say, "Hey, I got an extra lottery ticket. You want it for $1?" And I go, "No." And then you find out it's worth $100 million. So I can sympathize with it. It's mind-bogglingly like,
it happens.
Yeah, I guess. I hope it never happens to me if George Lucas walks up, or any other guy. Sheryl, wow, your story definitely resonated with me because, you know, I try to do the same thing. You know, you said, you know, you try to make sure you sleep well at night by doing people right. And that's a very simple philosophy. It's not always easy to follow, but it's the same way I live my life. Back when I was a supervisor of a team, I came up with a phrase for us, and it was ab initio ardus ad solem. It's a Latin phrase that means from the beginning, striving towards the sun. And I always explain it as just try to be a little bit better at the end of the day than you were at the start. So that highly resonated with me. Clinton, dude, your description of that experience, you took me with you, man. And you know, I'm thankful I've never been there, but it's I think anybody at some point, you know, is just always worried. You hear it in the news, you know, you can just be minding your own business, walking down the road, wrong place, wrong time, and you go through a nightmare like that. And I'm thinking of it, you know, you got family, you got a career, you got a life you've made that can suddenly just be washed away for next to flipping nothing. And it highlights how broken our system is. You know, the U.S., our big number one these days is number of incarcerated people per capita. And most of those folks are melanated folks. I know that. And it saddens me. It pisses me off because I can't think a squat to do to change it. But with that, you know, Sheryl, you didn't quite make the sweep. I've got to give my vote to Clinton on this.
Dadgummit. Dang it.
I'm so sorry. My vote goes to Clinton on this one.
What a cliffhanger. Kelly J. White, thank you for your vote, my friend. We
That was
appreciate
good,
you.
Kelly.
Giving it up for you, Mr. White. Thank you, my friend.
Absolutely.
Guys, we turn it over to you right now. You are what makes this thing possible in the comment section. And, of course, the luminaries before you are here to give you their heart and soul, and we appreciate them for their honesty and the human condition at its best. Represented by Butch Patrick, Clinton Portis, and Sheryl Swoopes. I agree. All three stories resonate deep for me. Clinton gets my vote for this round. Thank you, Natasha. Christopher concurs and also will vote for Clinton. Chris Davis. God, wow, a lot of votes here. Chris Davis, I see you. And Jeff Jr., I see you there as well for Clinton. 2 straight. Dragon. Butch continues to spread happiness through the Munsters. My vote for Butch Patrick. Thank you. Johnny McKinney votes Sheryl Swoopes. McKenna votes for Clinton Portis. That was real and raw and all off the top of the head. Yeah, 100%. Rita, my vote goes to Clinton. Okay. Dion votes for Mrs. Supermom Sheryl Swoopes. Thank you, Dion. Appreciate you. Sean votes for Mrs. Sheryl Swoopes. Ali Ken votes for Clinton. I related to Clinton the most. Mary says, yeah, Clinton has my vote too because his vulnerability, his perspective, and his outlook was my reason for voting for him. Thank you, Mary, for your thoughts. We appreciate that. Elise votes for Clinton. Howard votes for Clinton. I love the amazing stories that all three shared. So did I. Alexander votes for Clinton. Julie votes for Sheryl. Joe and Kate vote for Clinton. Julie Hall says extremely tough, going with Sheryl. Totally agree. Ramon going with Clinton, and Chad going with Clinton. Thank you, guys and gals and pals. Right after this, immediately following this, I do have a very quick video for Sheryl Swoopes, about a minute. I want to play for Sheryl, her being on screen, and then Clinton, and then Butch, as we bid them adieu, because they've been fantastic, and we really appreciate their time. Guys, I'm trying to track votes here. There's no producer in the back. Hauser says, I vote for Clinton. Very powerful share. Yes. You could vote all three, but you already voted, Mary. Sorry. Andrew says, I know what you mean, though. Have to vote for Clinton, but this one is really... But Clinton Portis on this one, he really brought it tonight. Everyone did. You're right. Lewis votes for Clinton. And Allison, such a tough choice, but I am putting in my vote for Clinton. And Andrew read the third. Clinton gets my vote. He really brought it. Yeah, I got that. Okay. Ramon, very hard to vote here. You have all done an amazing job. I totally agree. If I were voting, my hair would not be in place right now. Trust me, I'd be a mess if I had to vote. This is Elise Pender voting for Clinton. Okay, guys, I think that's about it. I'm going to wrap this thing up right now. There's a lot, but I can't count them all. So we're at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. There's a 5 and a 4 and a 3 and a 2, 1. And then, guys and gals, there's a 0. So with that being said, it's right here in the private chat section. I can read it to you. Moving on to round number 2 of the TCAN Celebrity Tournament with over 100 Hall of Famers and luminaries in a few months with 37 votes will be Sheryl Swoopes. And also moving on to the second round of the TCAN Celebrity Tournament with 35 is Mr. Clinton Portis. Moving on, guys and gals, give it up for Mr. Butch Patrick, who 60 years in this industry, and it still remains as humble as he ever was, and for giving us his time tonight. Man, oh man, what a pleasure!
My participation trophy.
You're amazing, man. Really, I appreciate you. And hey, before I play the video for Sheryl, Clinton, Sheryl, Butch, anything you'd like to say to each other, my friends?
Thank you so much. It was great getting to know you both through the modern technology, and good luck in your next round.
Thank you.
Thank you, Butch. Yeah, I just want to say this has been great. Just getting to be on here with the both of you and listen to your stories. Such great humans and such powerful stories. So it was an honor for me. Thank you.
And I do have a video for Mr. Butch Patrick. I have a video for Butch and also Sheryl and Clinton. Butch and Clinton, can I put you backstage for one brief moment as I play this tribute video for Sheryl? Appreciate that. Thank you guys. I appreciate you a lot. Sheryl, again, I put this together for everyone who's here. I hope this really speaks to you because it's hard to encapsulate everything, but you've inspired a ton of people. And I hope that this video does you service and really kind of puts things in proper perspective for how much you've given back and your amazing career as well. Guys and gals and pals watching, the great Sheryl Swoopes. One of your favorite songs, right?
It is.
Two greatest. Wow. Role model. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh my God.
That's what it's all about, family.
Oh my gosh, Avi, you're killing me right now. And I lost my mom 7 years ago, and her birthday is coming up. So all the pictures I'm seeing of my mom are
God rest her soul.
great memories. Wow.
Beautiful inside and out. You're absolutely right. to say that I concur with my friend Mark Henry. There's nothing more valuable than friendship, and I'm glad I made a new friend. You are awesome. Not only do the fans and viewers get to benefit from you being in round 2 in a few months again, but do you have a good time, my friend?
Wow. Okay, so I wouldn't have agreed to do this had I known you were going to make me cry.
My apologies.
Wow. Just powerful. You know, I love people. So to everyone on here, just thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the love you showed. Like, it never gets old. And I'm just grateful. I love life. I'm grateful for everything that I've been able to achieve. And this moment tonight was really good for me. So thank you for having me. And I am a little sappy, but listen, I am here to win, Avi.
Yes. I know you are, my friend. There's no doubt about it. We're all winners tonight. That's from the heart, because you graced us with your presence and honesty and truthfulness. Thank you so much for being here tonight, my friend, and I hope you have a great rest of the weekend.
I'm going to grab me a glass of wine now. Thank you so much.
Enjoy.
Good night, everybody. Thank
Good
you.
night. The legendary Sheryl Swoopes, guys and gals and pals. Man, I want to bring in Mr. Clinton Portis and then Mr. Butch Patrick again. I have a video for them as well. Clinton, again, congrats on being on round number 2. I have the same question for you, my friend. Did you have a nice time tonight? Oh, I can't hear you, my friend. I think it might be the audio thing. We'll get that right. I'm going to read some comments in the meantime. That was awesome. Good night, Sheryl. Not just yet. Not just yet. Thank you guys for your comments. We appreciate it. We see them as well. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Fantastic. Thank you guys again. Stick around. We're not done yet. We have more show after Mr. Butch Patrick and Clinton Portis. Not yet, my friend. You might want to refresh. I'll bring in Butch Patrick right now, then bring you right back. I'll bring you right back, Clinton. Right back. Butch, man, God almighty. I'm blown away. I'm very rarely speechless, but I'm speechless by all three of you.
I doubt that.
I'll ttell you, man. Did you have a nice time tonight, my friend?
Yeah, I had a good time. It was nice to meet the other folks as well.
There's no doubt. Mr. Clinton Portis, I'm going to play your video coming up, and Butch, I want to play yours. It's very hard to put this all in perspective because it doesn't encapsulate everything, but I hope it does you justice. And to the guys and gals and pals watching, Mr. Butch Patrick. Is that your sister, Butch? Thank you, my friend. I totally appreciate you, and looking forward to getting to know you more. Thank you for showing up tonight.
No problem. Thank you so much. It's like I said, I'm losing my power. So
Yes, sir. Good night,
Thank
Mr. Butch Patrick. Guys and gals, I want to bring in Mr. Clinton Portis again. Man, oh man. Clinton, can you hear me, my friend?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Perfect. Yes, I can, sir. Clinton, again, I have to ask you this question because not many people, including myself, would have that courage to speak the way that you did about things that are so personal, but also so helpful to people who can relate. Did you have a good time tonight, my friend?
I had a wonderful time, man. You know, I think my battery started going dead during your introduction. And I was like, man, this is the longest introduction I ever seen. And I was going to let my phone just die. But when I got up, something says, it's worth finishing this show for the fans, for the people. You never know who you're going to touch. So I searched and I found a charger to continue. I had no idea this was going to take 2.5 hours. But it was a great 2.5 hours to be able to hear Sheryl, to be able to hear Butch, to understand, to see people that you grew up watching. I never would have known or never had the chance to speak to or couldn't have even remembered the influence they had on my life as a child. So to have the opportunity to share this stage with them was excellent. It was great. I think everybody's story is unique.
Yes, sir.
Miss Swoopes was awesome, and Butch was awesome as well. So if I would have lost and wouldn't have made it to the second round to those two, I could have tipped my hat and really been appreciative.
Well, I'll say this quick before I play your video. To your point, I would never allow the show to be under 2 hours because I don't want to shortchange any of you because you're sharing so much of yourselves with us. So thank you for that. Hey, those rhymes weren't bad either, Clinton. Hey, listen, come on now. Guys and gals, I hope Clinton Portis enjoys this tribute for him. This is Clinton Portis, guys and gals. Love. Man, I'll say this before you duck out, my friend. From a teacher, I say this to you wholeheartedly. Thank you for teaching me tonight about a lot of things, man, and keeping an open heart. I appreciate you.
Hey, no problem, man. Appreciate you having me. I need all those pictures, so send them to me in the email.
You got it. Talk to you soon. Luck you around too, my friend.
Hey, take care. Thank you.
You too. Guys and gals, Clinton Portis. Wow. Howard, you heard Butch's feed was dying. His battery was dying. But you'll get a chance to talk to him. I know there's some stuff you guys want to talk about. Man, oh man, guys and gals and pals, what an evening. It's remarkable to be able to sit down and learn so much, right? It's remarkable to have fun while you're doing it. That's where we're spoiled, I feel. I feel like we're spoiled because we learn and sometimes we forget that the brain is absorbing because we're so much to one another when we're open to one another. We're so much to each other. So I'm blown away. I meant what I said. Speechless. We have more show. Don't go anywhere. Please tell your friends to stick around because we've got some amazing content for you right now. But it's official. Yeah. Clinton Portis. Look, we've seen this happen time and again. A lot of times in this tournament, people are down big. And if you look at the private chat, this thing's always on the up and up with votes. Butch Patrick came out strong. He was leading after topic 1. Clinton Portis only had a couple of votes. Almost took Sheryl Swoopes as the top vote getter. And of course, the human experience is what this is all about. But you heard what Sheryl said. You know, at the end of the day, it is about being able to win this tournament. Because if you win this tournament, that means you win something that stands for something that's really pure and honest and forthright. And it shouldn't be a rare thing in society to talk about things that we do. It shouldn't be rare. And it also shouldn't be uncommon to push ourselves. If people wouldn't know me, they would think, man, Avi pushes himself. Is he some sort of jerk? What's he? It's because I believe in this. I believe in all of us getting together. It's going to take some time. We're going to get where we want to go. But in the meantime, we're going to get a chance to learn from one another. We're going to get a chance to realize that Clinton Portis' story might relate to you. Right through the topics, you're going to find out that it's not, you can't relate to someone who's an NFL legend or WNBA legend or film and TV great if you've never done that, if you haven't reached those heights. But you can relate to their stories, not just when it comes to how they got there, but what happened when the cameras were off, what happened in their lives once the glitz and the glamour and the fame and the name and the acclaim and the game. What happens when those lights get turned off, right? What happens? They're just like you, sitting in the dark, thinking about their lives, wondering what to do. And then we turn the light on. And we realize that the room around us is not empty. And it's well lit because the future, no matter what it entails, is going to be bright because you're here. When you're not, it's dim. That's why you never give up on life or yourself. When you're not here, it's dim. Dim for others. You wouldn't want to do that. You wouldn't want to ever take the light or joy away from somebody else because you're not here. So just hang tough. Trust me when I say that. Hang tough because there is something to this puzzle called life. A couple of years ago, I was so very, very down about a lot of things. I was down about the beginnings of TKN, relationships. I was down about my dad's health, which is still not the greatest, of course, but there were no answers back then at all. I was down. I was down about not knowing where something is going, even though I could see it going somewhere. But there's the but. If there's one thing you can hang on to, hang on to it. Because as long as you do, you will be a beacon of light. And that's the greatest gift you can give somebody else, is your love. There's always going to be somebody out there that needs you. Can you imagine what happens if you're not there? If you're not here? If you're gone? You never know if your words can save a life. Getting a little deep, but that's what being honest and real is, right? I love you guys because we're doing this together. And I promise you there'll always be topics that provide levity as well, which we had in topic number 2. But I am blown away by Clinton's story and Sheryl's story, and Butch as well. I mean, again, you will never find 3 luminaries that seemingly don't have something in common until you realize they do. And you guys could do that amongst yourselves. You can realize that even though you're in the comment section messaging someone else in the comment section, maybe there's some common ground. You never know. So if this place continues to bring people together, TCAN, as far as I'm concerned, will be considered a success no matter what. All right, guys, let's bring in Howard, Kelly, and Giselle. Kelly first. Your thoughts, my friend. What a night, huh?
Wow. Yeah. This one's, you know, I'm not saying that they all don't in some way, but I think this one's going to stick with me. Maybe a little heavier than some have.
Yeah.
You know, I knew the name Clinton Portis, but you know, I'm not a big overall sports guy. If you don't play for Pittsburgh, I might not know who you are. But I knew his name. I didn't know his experience with that. And yeah, it just really caught me. That last topic. I mean, he was close all the way through with it. Cheryl, though, just, I mean, she just.
So Clinton was down big, though. Down big.
He was, and that, you know, the way I'm understanding it, that wasn't his topic that was sent. I was it or wasn't it? I don't know.
After topic number 1, way before that third topic, I'm reading this, and if I'm not mistaken, this is, as I'm scrolling down over here, Clinton was down. Yeah, Cheryl had 29.
Yep.
Butch had 18, and Clinton had 13.
Yeah.
So he did come back, but I mean, man, oh man, he was down 5 and he came roaring back. You never know. And at one point, I'm reading this. At what point he had 2, while Cheryl and Butch had 12.
Yeah, he was a slow starter, and it wasn't because he wasn't good. It's, you know, it's what I say. Any night, any combination, as good as you are, you just might be edged out, and that was what was happening to Clinton, and ultimately, unfortunately, happened to Butch. Because Butch was certainly no slouch at all.
No.
His last story, I mean, he went first, but he had me. I'm like, he's solidly getting my vote. There's nothing going to change that. And then Cheryl comes on and basically says her life philosophy is the same as mine. How can that not resonate with me? And I thought, well, she's locked in the first sweep I think I've ever done. I don't think I've ever given the same person my vote in all 3. And then Clinton came in, and it's like,
oh my God, did he come in?
Yeah, it's like, you know, pardon me, train coming through, and here's this.
Wow.
And, you know, it was so raw, so real, so passionate, and so personal. I had no choice. You know,
Joe says Jason was a similar case. Yeah, resonates hard. Mary says sometimes, and guys, this is the part where we read a lot of your questions and comments. Sometimes the vulnerability is what helps us see ourselves in our guests. Mary, I like that you put that down because you're absolutely right about that. And I think that's what makes me feel grateful. And when you're grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears. It's a good thing. It's a really cool thing. I like the fact that we're also very open to one another, despite the fact that sometimes I could see there's a gradual process of getting to know one another. I could see how patient everyone is. And by the third topic, once again, it's not just about the votes. It's about the camaraderie. If they never see each other again, they had this moment. And I think those moments are probably bigger than any milestone we probably shoot for, right? You shoot for something and you get there and you realize it's happened to me too. The journey was a lot more rewarding for me than the actual reward. You know, maybe it's much lauded to reach the end and get that destination, but there's nothing compared to the power that's brandished when we're so receptive and open to learning about each other so that we can better ourselves through other people. And if we just put our egos aside, that's what we can accomplish.
It is. And this has become a format that, you know, I want to say allows, but I think it just begs for people to do that. Because, you know, maybe it didn't happen topic 1 in every flipping case, but I think I've seen everybody just when it gets into it in topic 2, and especially topic 3, that have set their accolades and their egos aside and, you know, dug into themselves, and basically they displayed their true humanity. And, you know, like she said, at the end of the day, it's really all we've got. Everything else is just decoration. it's that inner stuff, that the trials of the journey and the wisdom that we've learned, and kindness, man, just some kindness, without all the judgment. And that's what makes this, to me, so different. And maybe why your network didn't think it was the greatest thing. We don't have all the controversy and judgment. We just have open humanity, open discussion. And like Big Mark says, maybe it'll solve one of the world's problems someday.
Well,
maybe it already has.
You're part of that too. And you're part of solving people's problems, because I could tell every time you're here as a celebrity judge that there's an appreciation for the luminaries when you're here, because they know that you have a way of listening and conveying your thoughts in a very direct but respectful way. That's a rarity, man. It really is. So give yourself a pat on the back, because I think the one thing I can appreciate about all of our luminaries is that they show their hearts in a grandiose and relatable way. That's really difficult to do today. Let's bring in Howard Collado and Giselle as well, guys. Howard Collado, he's here live with us. Kindness, Feather Tree Art says, and love, seeing each other as human is just important. Yeah. And guys, hey, let's not sneeze at numbers here, because when it comes to numbers, if you go to our YouTube channel, let me pull this up for all of you to see here live. I'm going to bring in Giselle in a moment. This is 152,000 total views last week. And that was accomplished in a span of about 10 hours. I mean, hopefully we're going to reach more people about our message. Right there, 152,000. And a week before, 108,000 views. A 44,000 view increase. Prior to that, there was a 33 view increase from show to show. And on top of that, 13 straight weeks of viewership increasing. And our subscriber count is at 43,000 in a few short months.
Wow.
YouTube hasn't even been really rocking and rolling for even a year yet, if you think about it. Incredible stuff. We're happy to reach more people, so that's why numbers mean a lot to us. But hey, Kelly, Howard, we pop when we see these ourselves.
It's beyond amazing. It's, I always say this, and I probably sound like a broken record, but truly Julie said it once, and she said that, yes, it's a number on the surface, but it's a human being who said, I like and I resonate with what this content is. So I'm going to subscribe. I'm going to like. And that to me is what I keep in mind, that 43,000, people.
And you're not a numbers guy. They don't really mean, sometimes numbers don't really mean a lot to you, right? But when you think of the people that we're reaching, that's a pretty cool thing, Howard.
Yeah, you got to humanize it. And for me, that just warms my heart, man.
Well, speaking of warming our hearts, guys and gals, Giselle's going to be here, and I'm sure she'll do just that. She does that to all of us because, hey, every time she brings it real as well. And I'll play a video that no one knows about. So how about that? A video that not even Kelly, Howard, or Giselle know about. Giselle, what did you think of tonight's incredible panel and conversation?
Hi. They came in with so much energy and so much passion, and right from the start, were willing to share their experiences and their heart and what it means to them, and why it was so important to get these stories out and detail the doubling down. So often we hear these phrases that become cliche, that we associate with negative connotations and meanings. And what I've noticed in the last few weeks with these topics is you're taking some of these more common phrases that have these negative associations, and we're able to flip that around and give them a positive spin. So hearing their answers and what they think about with these topics and the way the questions are presented has been really eye-opening, and tonight was no different. The last month or so of topics have definitely been some of my favorite. Tonight did not disappoint. They did not disappoint. They came in, and sure, we heard about their careers a lot in your intro, and a bit from them as well, but then they said, no, it's not about my career. It's not about my accolades. It's not about my numbers. It's about, am I a good person?
Am I a good person? And that's why I take Google out of it when people ask how do I do my research. It's not Google. It's not Wikipedia. It's not a way that maybe someone would assume it would be. It's not. It's finding something that'll let them know that they matter beyond their sport or their name or their acclaim. And to do that, sometimes you have to pull out a nugget that they've never been asked because it matters. Like Sheryl Swoopes taking pride in gardening matters. That matters. Why? Because she's able to teach a lot of the African-American youth about the importance of gardening, and it's through her celebrity that they will listen initially. So that's the bridge. That's the bridge. And guys and gals, yes, human connection, 100%. This far exceeded. Thank you. My expectations. Thanks for sharing. Guys, we're going to share something else with you, even though we might not be exactly with our voices tonight. We may not be the magical trio that maybe we could be if we had some prep. But guys and gals, we did it once unofficially. All right, we're not the Temptations, but we'll try. Howard, Giselle, and yours truly, Avi Klein, are going to embarrass Kelly White in a 3, in a 2, and a 1. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kelly White. Jason, not sorry. Happy birthday to you and many more.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate the round of applause. But guys and gals, if Kelly White thinks we're done, oh no, we're not. Giselle and Howard aren't privy to this.
Oh.
I am, and I cannot wait. This has been the moment I've been anticipating all week long.
Oh, this is awesome.
Wow. Yeah. Look at that. Mr. Kelly White, guys and gals. It's all about family. You got to love that. Got to respect that. Only way to watch it. Right. Hey, man. One of the highlights of this last year has been getting to know you, brother. And let me tell you something, man. I wouldn't want to embarrass anybody else as much as I would you the way I just did. Hey, on a serious note, you mean a lot to us, brother. A ton.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Very much appreciated, brother. I did not expect that. That was flipping amazing. Love it. Now I got to think, how many 100,000 people going to see that? They'll probably quit before they get there.
I got the rebuttal finger was raised with conviction. It was raised with a lot of conviction. I love that. Yeah. That was really awesome. Guys, give it up for Kelly White. Let's read some comments here. Yeah, we know. Absolutely, Joe. Absolutely. Hell yes. Thank you, Ramon. We appreciate you as well, my friend. Roll the Kelly White highlight reel. Yes, and there's so much more. And guys, again, he is giving you his time on Mondays with D&D workshops, which are amazing. As Kelly would say, flipping amazing. There's no doubt. Some of these I can't believe are the same guy. Yes, guys and gals and pals. Our Kelly J. White found the fountain of youth. He really has. You wouldn't believe it. Not that his age is old, but you wouldn't believe it. Many happy returns of the day. Happy birthday, Kelly, Chad, as well, guys. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, guys and gals and pals. Let's do something that we've never done. So let's give our viewers a list of possible videos we can play, and they could vote on which goes first.
Ooh.
And I'll ask Kelly and Howard and Giselle to vote on which video goes first too. And they'll tell us. But while you're commenting, Kelly will give us his thoughts. Howard, Giselle, guys, we do have a special Unsung Heroes segment with Giselle. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But when it comes to the videos, we have a Who's Next video, and that'll essentially all of our new viewers in YouTube land as well. It'll show you some possible entrants. And hey, in case you're wondering if the Who's Next delivers, Sheryl Swoopes, Eric Bischoff, yes, it does deliver.
There you go.
True.
There you go. You tell us.
Cheryl was recently on it. Eric was on it the night he was on the show. So how about that? You never know what you're going to get there. Guys, we have the Who's Next video. We have Chad's Top 10.
Ooh.
A really fun topic. We also have a milestone video, which will give you an idea of what TCAN has done during this last week. We have a black box recap. Kelly was there. Howard was there. Giselle was watching as well. We have a top 10 moments of the green room last week.
Oh.
We have a very special who's advanced to round 2 and 3. It'll give you an idea of everyone that's advanced. Very simple. Couple of screenshots and names of everyone in alphabetical order who's advanced to round number 2 and beyond. Those are our videos. I'll read it again. So we also have intense moments. So guys, how about intense moments? Intense moments are, so let me explain this. I put this together yesterday because why not? I wanted to capture the intense moments through some snapshots, through some screenshots, through some pictures, some still shots. We always talk about how much fun everyone's having, and they are. We capture the laughs and the smiles. I wanted to capture some intense-looking moments because, yeah, they all want to win. You know, the email that I pulled up in the black box where I showed you the kind of emails I'm usually getting, don't let it fool you. Everybody wants to win this thing. Yeah. And again, there's nothing wrong with competitive camaraderie. So there's a video I put together called Intense Moments. Are we going to play, and I'll ask Howard and Kelly Giselle first, are we going to play Intense Moments first? Are we going to play Milestone? Are we going to play the Who Advanced video? The Black Box recap? Top 10 moments of last week's Green Room? Who's next? Or Chad's top 10 first? Starting with Kelly J. White.
It's an extensive list, a lot of videos. I'm sure each and every one is good. But you know, I was given a reason. We just completed another round. So I'd like to see, we know who went in tonight. I would like to see everybody else that went in and play the who's in round 2 and 3 video.
Who's in round 2 and 3 video? Howard Collado?
I always love me some Chad in his top 10. I think it's a tie-up between Chad and the intense moments video. I'm going to say Chad.
Chad's top 10. Howard goes Chad's top 10. Giselle?
Just when I thought I knew which video I was going to pick, you rattled off a couple more. And this might even be more difficult than voting in the match right now because I know they're all going to be amazing. Yes, I would. Gosh, I would love to be reminded of who advanced. Chad's top 10s are always great. They're so thoughtful. But I think I am going with the most intense moments.
Most intense. We have Chad top 10, Howard and Joe, Allison, Chad top 10. Okay, let's see if there's others. If I have another one, it'll officially be Chad's top 10 coming up next.
Speak up.
Guys, speak up. Let's see Chad's top 10 first. Another one. Natasha, I got you for intense moments. Jeff got Chad. So, guys, Chad's top 10 is coming up next.
Sweet.
And it is going to be a hoot. I love this topic. Elise, Chad's top 10. Dion, we do see the Giselle smiley face. I've seen that before as well. Thank you. Yes, we're all smiling here. All right. Top 10 says Mary, actress Ramona Howard. Chad, gotcha. Joe.
Oh, wait, Mary, which top 10? Chad's top 10 or the top 10 moments from last week's show?
Good question, but either way, it's a landslide. Chat top 10 is going to go first. Great question, though. Again, guys and gals, be ready to vote for the next video. Why? In the last few months, I've been deciding which videos play first. Why? You guys can decide which video goes first. You let us know what you want to watch first in that order. The second half of the show becomes your show, guys. So don't go anywhere because it's viewer's choice, literally. Guys, here is Chad's top 10. And again, I do like the topic here. I hope you guys enjoy Chad's latest version of his top
10. Hey, everybody. Good to see you all again. It's your boy, Top 10 on TKN one more time. Well, you can see I got a new look, new feel, looking good, having a great night. Well, tonight's Top 10, if the Green Rumors had a twin in the tournament, which celebrity would they be and who would they be? Well, let's kick it off with number 10 and go with Pete Sharpie. I think Pete Sharpie, his twin would be Jim McMahon. They both have the clean top and they both like to wear the shades. But not just that, they're both smart guys and they love to do battle in the tournament. But there's also one more person I think Pete emulates, and that's a little bit of Ryan Caballera. Raven like to beat up on Ryan, and we all know the Green Rumors. We like to pick up on Pete, so those are my choices on who I think Pete's twin would be. And my number 9th pick tonight would definitely have to go to Mr. Phil Donahue, and his twin would be none other than the one and only Mick Foley. Why do I say that? They both have a big, beautiful, bushy head of hair and a big, wild beard. Couldn't ask for anything better. But even more important, push comes to shove, both of these men, they do know how to hardcore battle, and there's no better, tougher people than Phil and the amazing Mr. Mankind Mick Foley himself. So Mr. Phil, I call Mr. Mankind and Mick Foley your twin. I hope you appreciate it, and I hope you all like it. And for tonight's number 8, I give it to Mr. Joe Rizart and David Faustino. Joe just reminds me of a young Bud Bundy, always up to something and has something up his sleeve. They both have amazing mustaches and beard, and Joe just had David's hair back in the Bundy days. But better yet, they're both young, they're both talented, and when push comes to shove, definitely both of these men, they're going to make waves in this tournament. I'm really banking and looking forward to watching both of these men push on through round number 2 in this amazing tournament. You guys make an amazing number 8. And number 7, I definitely got to give that to Mindy Red and the amazing Dee Wallace. Both these ladies have short blonde hair. They're very dignified ladies. They're very smart, talented. They show a lot of heart. And Dee, she may be one of the queens of horror, but if you guys all remember, Mindy in round number 1, one of her topics were one of the scariest ways to die. And to me, that includes a little bit of horror. So that's just another reason why I think Mindy and the amazing Dee make an amazing pair of twins. And number 6 tonight, well, it wouldn't be a top 10 without the one and only Avi Klein. Well, he was a really hard one to try and find a twin on, and I've come to the conclusion when they made Avi, they threw the mold away. There's nobody like Avi, but the closest I could come up to would be Jesse the Body, because at one point or another, they both like to have the crazy outfits, the glasses, the hats, the bandanas, but most of all, they're two of the very smartest people in this tournament. But that also means that there's another twin there, and I call him Mr. Mark Henry for those same reasons. Very smart, just like Avi. Avi has a big heart and cares for people, so much like Mr. Mark Henry. Avi, I hope you approve to having Jesse and Mark as your twins in this tournament, my friend. And number 5 tonight goes to Mr. Howard Collado and 1 RVD. Well, the reason why I say that, they both have the side of their head shaved, pulled back into this amazing ponytail. They're both hardcore fighters. Howard definitely proved that in his first round when he went against John Red, and John sent his thugs against him. Well, Howard came fighting right back like the hardcore champion that he is, and what Rob Van Dam was and still could potentially be if ECW had still been around, of being the hardcore champion. Howard, I think you're an amazing guy, and I think RVD is an awesome twin for you, my friend. And number 4 this week, I'm proud once again, is Miss Truly Julie. And who I think her twin would be the one and only amazing Miss Nancy Kerrigan. Both with long flowing brown hair. They're both smart, talented. They're both champions in their own right. And they've both overcome obstacles in their life, and they've made the very best of it. They both are very, very strong contenders in this tournament, and I can see Julie coming out of that second chance bowl and kicking some butt in round number 2, just like Nancy came back to win the gold. Amazing job, guys. You're my number 4. My number 3 pick tonight is definitely going to be Mr. John Red and 1 JBL. Both of them have the Texas style. They both love to wear the 10-gallon hat. They both have a love and appreciation for the biggest and finest cigars, cowboy boots, dressed all to the nines. They both have a backing of a lot of money. Hey, John? You know what I mean. But push comes to shove, these two are going to be really, really hard to beat in the tournament. Smart, talented, and man, these two gentlemen sure know how to do battle. And I definitely think these two matched up very well to be twins. And tonight's number 2 pick, it goes to 1, the only, Miss Giselle. And who do I think her twin would be? Well, that one's an easy one. I believe that would be the one and only Miss Sally Jesse Raphael. These are probably 2 of the toughest ladies that are in all of this tournament. And I really think they're going to go far. I think Kate and Sally, they also match as a great set of twins because they have a thirst for knowledge. They're always asking questions just to find out answers and to better themselves. The more you know, the more you grow. It's the way of life. You guys make an awesome pair, and that's why you're tonight's number 2. And well, tonight's number 1, it wouldn't be a number 1 without being number 1 in the tournament so far. That goes to Mr. Kelly White. And who's his twin? I would have to say the one and only Jerry Saggs. Not only do they both sport that mohawk so awesome, but these are bloodthirsty men when push comes to shove. King, what you may say, of hardcore. Neither one of these men are afraid of very, very much. And, well, if you put these men into a corner, I guarantee you that's the last place you want to be. These men will come out at you, beating the living crap out of you. Kelly, I hope you're proud to have Jerry Sags as your twin in this tournament, because you both have the hearts of lions and the wild men inside of you just waiting to get out. Good job, boys. Well, everybody, that's tonight's top 10. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed letting you guys in on my top 10. I hope you enjoyed the new set and the new look as I enjoyed giving you my top 10. Hope to see you all next Saturday, and remember, keep the energy high and the love alive. Love yous all. See yous all next Saturday.
House. Chad House. Okay.
Chad House right there. Huh? Chad, guys, this is his own house.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, listen, we're just paying rent, guys. Chad, his top 10, I love it. Hey, listen, Jerry Sags, I want to say this about Sags for a moment. I know that, again, when we think of Jerry Sags, sometimes best advice I ever received was from Mark Henry a while ago. He said, you know, your flashy blazers, he goes, I love them. But he goes, you know what it is? You already have a big personality. You don't have to. He goes, that's the thing about you. You want people to know what I know about you. And you know, the thing about Sags that people forget is that he's a very intelligent guy.
Yes.
I mean, did you watch that matchup that took place in October? And I believe, if memory serves correct, October 28th. When that matchup took place between Jerry Sags, Brian Knobs, and Peter Melman, Jerry Sags was so very passionate, concise, thorough, organized his thoughts, had a ton of passion, a ton of knowledge about everything. And here's the one thing I think you need to have win this tournament. Jerry Sags was having fun.
Yeah.
He was having a great time.
I think he had some fun at your expense, didn't he?
And also Brian Knobs. Look, Brian could not keep up. I'm sorry, Brian, love you. Brian admitted Brian couldn't keep up with Jerry. Jerry was like all over the place and rebutting everybody. I remember Brian looked at it. True story. Brian Knobs and I become close. Brian told me the story where he said, as that was happening, as that rip was happening, he goes to Jerry, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's a family show. It's a family show. But it was a blast. And again, I got to say this, man, Sags could be a real tough out in this one. So
yeah,
I would pay to see the twins go at each other. I'd pay to see Giselle versus Kelly versus Sags, Howard versus RVD. I'd love to have Jesse. Yeah, why not? Sags was very passionate, and he certainly was having fun. Jerry is a good one. And Chad, so are you, man. Kelly, Howard, and Giselle, your thoughts on Chad's top 10?
Oh, man, that's I love, this is something he puts a lot of time into it. He puts a lot of time, and he puts a lot of himself into it. I mean, it's a damn good production. And he's not just sitting there doing this off the top. He's written stuff down. He's worked on it. So I'm hugely appreciative of the things he turns out. They're always super entertaining. And sometimes they put a spin on stuff that, I hadn't really thought of, and it makes me look at things in a different light. So damn kudos to Chad for that stuff.
Totally agree. And I love his passion, Howard. I love his knowledge of TCAN. I love his knowledge of all things TCAN. It's very, very refreshing.
Yeah. You could see he put so much thought and passion into it, so because he gives such specific detail. But what I really actually enjoy is there's such a musicality.
He finally made his list. Oh no, I'm sorry.
That too, and he shaved. I love the look. Love the new look. And then I made his list definitely. But there's such a musicality to Chad's how he speaks. I actually enjoyed that, like the tempo of his. I could hear.
You like that he's Canadian.
I love it.
Yeah,
it's a Canadian lilt.
Yeah.
Well, Giselle, do you concur?
Tonight's topic was so creative and so thoughtful, and it was very cool that it wasn't a typical 10 ranking, because it didn't really matter where we fell. It was fun to see who he thought we matched up with and why. And this might be a little bug in your ear, Avi, for those tag team matches that could happen at some point.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes, please. Yes. I'm in.
Right?
Yes.
I'll take Jerry all day, dude. I'm good.
Kelly
I'll
and Jerry.
take it with Kelly, Jesse, Raphael.
Yeah.
I'm going to win because I have Mark and Jesse. So thank you.
All right, well, this is true. That would be really
He's
tough.
handicapping us here.
I always want to outnumber my opponents. That's great. So yeah, Guys and gals, what do you want to watch next? Because again, Unsung Heroes, we have plenty of time for that. It's going to come up as well. What are we watching now? I'll ask Kelly, Howard, and Giselle, and all of you. We need your comments. I'm going to give you the list of what we can be playing now. We have a milestone video, which will show you what we've done in this last week regarding some awesome milestones on the YouTube channel. We also have a Who's Next video with possible entrants that will be coming in. I will have a big announcement regarding the tournament. I'll make it official this Wednesday, guys. Talked about it a bit in the Black Box. We'll make it official. We'll make it official this Wednesday night regarding round number 1 and the end of round number 1, because it's been an amazing ride. I'll give you the actual date. I alluded to it. I was very specific. But will it remain intact by Wednesday? I'll know on the Black Box. That's the only place you could find out if round number 1 is continuing, 8 p.m. Eastern time. But trust me, you never know, because round number 1 might end as early as next Saturday, for all you know. Whoa, how about that? Could end next Saturday. Could end the 18th. Could end on the 25th. You don't know. 18th is a big show. We have a big surprise. Been talking about it for a while. Someone we've never seen here. Might be a suit and tie. You never know. But we're going to end the show with this person. It's going to be cool because you'll know who it is when you see the person. But you've never seen this individual before. And a lot is riding on this particular show on the 18th. We're looking forward to that. But as far as videos, we have Kelly White's birthday. No, we did that. We did Kelly. We can play it again. Kelly White's birthday video. We have milestone videos. We have Who's Advanced to Round 2 video. Black Box recap video. Top 10 moments of last week's Green Room video. Who's Next video. And then we also have Intense Moments. We'll start with Giselle.
Well, I'm not going to change my vote from the last round, so I'm going with Intense Moments again.
Intense Moments. Guys, it's set to pictures and photos. You don't really see video clips. It's set to photos. Intense Moments, Giselle, Howard.
Yeah, that was actually my second choice after Chad, the Intense Moments. I'd love to kind of check that out.
Mr. White?
I'm going to jump on this bandwagon. Let's see those Intense Moments, dude.
Intense Moments. Chad has Intense. That's 4. McKenna says Black Box recap. Guys, we want to see you in your votes. What do you want to watch next? Lester, Mr. Clay Brick will be back. There's a reason I haven't brought him up. Trust me, he's still Clay Brick Stevens is lurking around, and we will find out who he is on the Green Room, on a Green Room episode, and it might be on the 18th or the 11th. Tense Moments says Dion. Thank you so much, Dion. Jeff. Guys, again, these are not clips. I don't like to false advertise anything, as you know. Intense says Elise. Milestone video says Allison. Bandwagon says Joe. Talking about the studio. Black Box. Okay, guys, Intense Moments. So again, these are set to screenshots. Hope you enjoy them. Some really intense moments. You have to look in the eyes of these competitors if possible. Let's see what we got for Intense Moments.
That was intense, to say the least.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember feeling those emotions and feelings. And when those pictures came back, I'm sitting here doing the exact same actions because it's overcoming me again in the moments. And everyone wants to win. It's getting tougher.
Mr. Roberts, what a talent. And by the way, Eric Roberts, yes, he is the latest of our Second Chance Bowl participant who was voted in. By the way, guys and gals, only 4 more spots remaining for the Second Chance Bowl. Not something that will be available beyond round 1. That will be available either Wednesday's Black Box or next Saturday. Only 4 spots remain. Maybe Butch Patrick might be on that list. He was eliminated tonight from this tournament, as great as he was. Clinton Portis, again, in case you're just joining us, Clinton Portis. And I got to say this again. One of the most decorated athletes of all time, not just basketball players, Sheryl Swoopes. Do you understand what it's like to be a 3-time gold medal winning Olympian and a captain on those teams, and to also be a 3-time WNBA Hall of Famer, an MVP, and not to mention an actual Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer, which is the biggest accomplishment any basketball player can have. I mean, it goes beyond words to say that Sheryl Swoopes was the first woman to receive a Nike deal, because some people say she was to women's basketball what Michael Jordan was to men's basketball. I say Michael Jordan was to men's basketball what Sheryl Swoopes was to women's basketball. One of the greatest of all time. Showed up here tonight on everybody's wish list. Hey, there's some great players out there from history, from WNBA. We could talk about Dawn Staley. No one lights a candle to Sheryl Swoopes. Her and Lisa Leslie are bona fide number 1 and 2, interchangeable on everybody's WNBA list. There's no doubt.
And I just want to say, to add to all of that, she was also a mother raising a child. I guess
single mother.
A single mom.
Which is different than being a separate mother, right? She was a single mother.
Single mom,
raising a child, and there's no doubt about that. But man, I mean, really, looks do capture the moment. You've seen videos where we're all smiling and having a good time, which is a constant. But again, you're seeing a lot of since I put this together, third topic screenshots when people are looking at the comment section. Really happened again tonight. Kelly, when you watched that, did you get some chills as well? Just seeing all the matchups we've had already.
I did. And, I agree with Giselle. I saw my face up there, and, I saw the face opposite, and, it did revive some of those feelings. But also for me, you provided a little bit of a scouting expedition here. And I was looking at other folks, and, the intensity on those faces, Mark Henry, I know Jenny's not in the second round, but she showed intensity. Yourself. There's not a player in this game that can't capture that intensity. DC Glenn is even intense when he's smiling at you.
Oh, yeah. And how about that matchup? Maybe we'll do, guys, how about this? I just thought of this live. We've kind of entertained it before, but never made it official. Kelly, what do you think? Giselle and Howard, why don't we have, since there's special broadcasts, it'll take me a bit of a month to get round 2 ready with over 100 Hall of Famers and luminaries. But for those special broadcasts on Saturday, we'll continue, including here on a Saturday coming up. We will not vote. We will randomly draw every single competitor in the second round out of a bowl. You'll see their photos. They're laminated. It'll be beautiful. When I pull out one name, let's say I pull out Kelly White. You see his face and his name card right there. If I pull out another competitor, that will be the person Kelly faces. It'll be a one-on-one. But after Kelly's name, what if I pull out the number 3? It means it'll be a triple threat match. And I'll have to pull out 2 more cards. If I pull out a 4, there's only going to be about a few of those. It'll be a 4-way matchup. So we're going to find out in real time. And if you don't think that we've had shows that have been absolutely thrilling and gargantuan in size, I got to tell you, we've got another bonanza, extravaganza, if you will, coming up, because we're going to probably have over 50 to 70 luminaries at different times of that night popping up live to see who they drew. How about that? And then the following week, if that's not enough, they're going to send me videos, and the heat is on because they're going to send their expressions to me about their opponents. We'll play video after video as each person's only locked into their competitor. Each person's focused on who they're facing. It'll be Kelly White with a comment directed to maybe all the second rounders because he's in round 3. It'll be Giselle doing the same. But what if Howard draws a DC Glenn? The DC Glenn's video towards Howard, a message towards him, will play that night. And then Howard will have one towards DC Glenn. What if Bronson Pinchot faces D Wallace? They'll have videos. So you never know what might happen. It'll be a great way to really kind of be able to absorb why this means so much to all the luminaries, because obviously it does, and there's no doubt that that's going to be a special show. But the one idea I had tonight regarding another show will be an award show. We're going to have an award show with different nominees, so to speak. What was the most intense matchup in round number 1, right? So that'll be a category. Most intense. I would dare say Raven, DC Glenn, and Ryan Cabrera would probably top that list.
Yeah, I mean, I think a close second, and you had a great shot of it, was Patera and Jeremy London.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they went back.
Let's not forget Howard Collado, talented. Yeah, I just spoke about him. Yeah, Howard Collado is here. He's in round number 2 as well. Absolutely. Howard, hey, in case you didn't watch that video, John, it ain't just the celebs that I'm showcasing. It's every single green room here. That is my job, to showcase everybody and what they got. There's no doubt about that. He is an OG. Guys, again, let's find out what video we're playing next.
Yeah.
We still have Unsung Heroes. That will happen no matter what. I'm excited to see who wins in the second chance bracket. There's so much going on over here. And again, guys, numbers through the roof. We really appreciate where we are right now with the new network. 43,000 subscribers. Check out our YouTube. And again, last week's episode, a whopping 152,000 views. It's on YouTube. Here it is again, in case you want to check out the link as well. Go to the new network. As you see, it's at the new network. I pulled up streams, live streams, but type in at the new network in the search bar, and there you go. 152,000 views last week, 108,000 views 2 weeks ago. We had a show with 76,000 the week before. Again, just growing every week. We are happy, and it doesn't happen without A, hard work and consistency, and B, all of you. So we appreciate that. Howard, what are we playing next? Again, let me read you the options now. We have Milestone video. Who advanced to round 2 and beyond? Black Box. Top 10 moments of last week's green room. And I believe that's it. What are we going with?
I could do, did you say, is a Who's Next in that, right?
Who's Next is there as well.
Yeah, I could do a Who's Next video.
Who's next? Giselle?
We just had intense moments, and there are some very intense moments that have been happening on Wednesday nights on the Black Box, so we need to do a Black Box review.
There you go.
Black Box, Kelly White.
I had a great time on last week's Black Box. So yeah, let's run that up the flagpole. I'll salute that.
We have the viewers right now. Kelly White might have not given us that decision 2 weeks ago, but tonight he wants to review the Black Box. Guys, is the king back? We'll find out. Julie says, who's next? Jane says, intense moments. The Black Box.
Question
mark. Black Box says Jeff. Who's next says Elise. A couple of who's next. Can we tally this somewhere? Because this is tough. Phil has who's next. Thank you, Giselle. That's 1 for who's next. We know we have 3 for Black Box. Kelly, Howard, and Giselle, I think, all voted Black Box. No, Howard voted who's next. So Kelly and Giselle, who's voted Black Box. Howard is who's next. Lester is who's next.
Yeah, who's next is kind of beating it out, I guess.
I think so. Lewis, who's next? Jane and Dion, Black Box. There's more. Jeff, Black Box. Julie Hall, who's next? Then we have Mary with who's next. Mary with Milestone last on a high note. Okay, actress. Thank you, Mary. Black Box for Ramona. Allison Milestone. Chad, Black Box. Natasha votes who's next.
It's neck and neck.
All right, it's neck and neck here. This is crazy.
I feel like all our votes are over.
McKenna has Black Box. Thank you, Angel. We appreciate it. Let us know which video you want to watch next. Why not, good sir?
It's a tie. They'll blow them both next week.
Right? We got Black Box and who's next are tied at 9.
Hey, Angel. Good to see you, man.
I'll break the tie, I guess. All right, guys. Let's see what we have here. Well, in case you missed Wednesday's Black Box, let's get a bit of a recap. Guys and gals, Wednesday night on the page of Joe Rizart, R-I-Z-A-R-T. Be sure to tune in every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You never know what's going to happen. It is the darling of TKN. This show is definitely an unsung hero of sorts because a lot of fun, wild, educational, but also heated moments do occur live before you. It'll be on YouTube live as well very soon. Very, very soon. So, guys, here's what you might have missed on Wednesday's Black Box. To give you an idea, if you've never seen the show, there are a lot of prizes. There's a reward system. There's different tallies that we have. If you bring your A game the way Kelly has, who has nearly unblemished record on the black box, then to the victor goes the spoils. You're able to have a lot that you can take with you to round 2 and beyond. Kelly would not be in round 3 if it wasn't for the black box.
It's very
Let's
true.
remember that. Giselle won something very important. Guys, I'm giving out something called the green ticket, and I'm not going to give it out again, but it gives you a lifeline. In case you lose in those deep rounds, you get a chance to come back. Only Kelly and Giselle have that. That will not be up for grabs again. Only Kelly and Giselle will have the green ticket. Beyond that, Kelly, what are some of the other amazing rewards that you have won on the black box that you've earned?
Well, let's talk. We talked about I'm in round 3. I have a green ticket. As of last Wednesday, I officially have 80 points in round
80
3.
points in round 3.
Like 80 votes.
You have the right to have me come in there too.
I do. I can tag you in for my round 3. If I don't feel like I'm quite getting the job done, I can tag you in to help me argue my point against whomever. And I have the absolute honor and privilege of selecting my first topic all on my own.
I think that might be the sleeper one. I think that's an important one to win.
I think it's hugely important.
So important to pick your own topic. Absolutely. Giselle, we'll find out the next time she's here in June on the black box. If she can take some points with her as well, we'll find out. Howard Colado's in the positive. Guys, zip the old lip. Here's what happened on Wednesday night's black box.
As far as I'm concerned right now, everything is in its place. I just want to get my damn green ticket back tonight. That's my goal.
Joe Rizart,
It cannot, and here we are, Avi Klein.
Guys, give it a rant for Joe. This is Joe Risitano. Yeah, guys, but man.
OG.
This isn't some game. Very show. Now, Joe, are the stakes higher now that you know the black box will be debuting live on YouTube?
It does indeed, because when you want a host, and especially going live on YouTube, anyone for that matter, can go live. But can they bring quality? Can they bring energy?
This is an email from one of the luminaries. Wow, such easy questions, sarcastically he writes. Ha ha ha. Thank you for giving me something to actually think about and not the usual fluff type interview stuff. These luminaries are locked in, and that's someone we have for next week, for May 11th. The 11th hour. Here's what that is. You're going to see a flyer. That flyer will be titled The 11th Hour. It means that when May comes to an end, round 1 is over. And if there so happens to be matchups that take place before round 2, it'll happen at the 11th hour, but it will not prevent us from producing the Second Chance Bowl in the interim. It will not prevent us from moving forward into round number 2 as we get closer. And if there are any people I think should be in round number 1, they'll come in at the 11th hour. With one caveat. If they lose, they can't be entrants in the Second Chance Bowl, because the Second Chance Bowl by then will be done. JW popped in this past Saturday night very briefly, but Howard, he's going to stay 11th on the green room. He's got something to say and show as well.
Okay, good. I will be there. So the one night I'm not there, this guy decides to just show up. Okay, great.
Well, he had no idea you weren't going to be there.
Well, yeah, his timing is just awful.
I'll return to claim what's rightfully mine. It's time for chapter 2.
You know, I can kind of see him taking a break, clearing his head, getting the cobwebs out, because yeah, he's had a really bad run since I showed up.
Ultimate prize tonight, the green ticket, that could be available for everybody. Now, there's also individual prizes if you win. Guys, if Joe wins tonight, he will not only have the green ticket, he will be back at 0, a clean slate. He will not be negative 50 anymore. Howard will be up to 30 points if he wins tonight. Let's just drop that down here in private chat. Julie's a negative 55. She'll be at 0 as well. She'll be back at 0. Guys and gals, 2 people will be debating. Maybe we'll start out with 4 for round number 1. Now, you cannot get eliminated until 2 different rounds. We'll start round 1 and we'll start round 2. The way it'll work is I'll introduce a topic. a debate topic for all 4 of these incredible green roomers: Kelly, Julie, Joe, and Howard. When the person is making their point, when a particular participant is making their point, I will pull up a photo. At that point, they have to abandon making their argument and play word association with me. They will have 5 seconds. Kelly, Julie, and Joe, assuming if Howard is the one I pull a photo on, Kelly, Julie, and Joe will lift up their fingers, count to 5. If the person does not give us one word, they lose that round. Well, tonight, if he wins, half of those 160 will be attached to Kelly White. He'll have 80 points, guys, in round number 3. Julie is going to make a case for McDonald's fries as the greatest fries available to mankind. McDonald's fries. Joe Risitano, guys and gals, will make a case for Burger King fries. Howard Collado is going to make a case for diner fries. Good old-fashioned diner fries. Jay White's going to make a case for homemade fries. Homemade fries you can make at home.
Have. And the grease, it's constantly flowing, and it's perfect because each flavor combination goes well when you have, whether you have it with their soda, their green, wine, taste.
Are we counting grease in the comment section? I know why you went grease. Oh. Yes, because now he knows we meant the country. Guys, Joe doesn't have to do that, so he got his 5.
Right? A lot of times, diner fries are softer. There's a beautiful soft texture to it. Knives, sweater, hat.
Some high school kid that just broke up with his girlfriend and is going to mangle your fries to where you got to come back. Bridge, red, cables.
So Julie's at 0, Kelly's at 6, Howard's at 4. Joe hasn't got a vote yet. Till now, Allison, I vote for Joe. Julie is going to make a case for boom boxes. For boom boxes, the most iconic item in the 80s. Hey, they were iconic. Guys, Joe Risitano is going to make a case for the Rubik's Cube. Howard Collado is going to make a case for the Walkman. Kelly White's going to make a case for VHS tapes. VHS tapes.
From like the different houses to wherever it was centrally, singer, sunglasses, hair, nose, mouth, songs.
I will not count.
90s. November Rain.
That's 2 words.
Outside of frustrations that everyone hosts, hair, style.
Not going to count hair.
Now you could run and listen to whatever track. You pop in Bon Jovi, guitar, hat.
Either waited for a network, the cable company, or went to the theater. Green, Piggy.
Joe's back at 0, Julie, and that's what are your thoughts there about Mr. Risitano at 0?
I wonder why. Julie says Jeff Reader. Wow, it's like they would all like last name something like that, like a familial bias, kind of like one John Red. You got those votes from those people, Julie.
What do you have
took
to
votes
offer?
from people to get Avi out of here. That's what this is about.
It means you don't care when you don't show up.
You can vote, yeah.
We're going to start with Julie. Julie, guys and gals, is going to make a case for Freddy Krueger as the most iconic horror villain of all time. Howard Collado is going to make a case for Mike Myers of Halloween. Kelly White is going to make a case for Norman Bates of Psycho.
Rapper, music.
Soda. Carbonated. Lime.
Are we counting lime in the comment section, guys, for Sunkist? No.
Number, shorts, jersey.
So for that very reason and how it was described in the time given, I have to vote for Julie for Freddy Krueger.
It really sucks. I could have had 30 points, man. That's.
Hey, so Julie, guys, is going to make a case for a crocodile. Kelly J. White is going to make a case for Great White Shark.
Spider-Man. Movies.
The thing with crocodiles is they have baseball, mitt.
People are still very wary of great white sharks, specifically in that way. My vote goes to Kelly White.
Guys, I keep going here, but this is it's a foregone conclusion. Guys and gals, Kelly J. White has reclaimed victory in the black box, once again proving he is the king of the black box because he now not only has the green ticket, he has another chance in case he does lose in this tournament. And on top of that, 80 points with him in round number 3.
Hey, you know, I'm going to say, yeah, I'm the king of the black box. And if you run into John Red, let him know for me.
Hey, Kelly, you like that guy with the flames in the back there. Huh? You're a fan of his.
yeah, it works for me, brother.
God almighty. Man, oh man. Giselle, Howard, again, Kelly White. We only have a few more of the John Red challenges because round 1's about to end. So
yeah,
get it while it's good. Get it while those prizes are available. Unstoppable.
Okay, while the sun shines.
For you, absolutely. A lot of sunshine. Kelly, straight into the zone. Guys, I told you, Kelly and I are we're gonna help one another out in ways that isn't exactly, I don't think there's anything dastardly going on. I think that the Kelly White Avi tandem strikes fear in a lot of people's hearts, Kelly White.
You know, if it doesn't, I would probably guess they don't have a heart.
I would agree.
It really should.
And if they do, we'll rip it out anyway. So,
you know,
there's that. Guys and gals, on a serious note, Kelly White and I, my prediction or spoiler, Kelly White and I will be in the finals. And speaking of the finals, that'll happen in person. It'll happen live. Now, remember, I'm an underdog and so is Howard because this great talent is in the 3rd round. This great talent's in the 3rd round. And so is John Red. Only 3 people in round 3. But when round number 4, 5, and 6, the quarters, semis, and finals, they will take place live in person. Yes, that's down the road. We don't know where. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be either in some banquet hall. It'll definitely be with people in attendance that aren't even in the quarters or semis or finals. You might see a lot of luminaries there. It's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be an event. On Friday night, when that happens, it'll be the final 8. On Saturday, the next day, it'll be the final 4. On Sunday, the finals. It'll be a whole weekend event. It'll be amazing to see. It's going to be an amazing experience. Amazing to be there with all of you.
I was talking about this before. It's going to be such a different beast of a competition to be able to, again, to look at your opponent in their eye and transfer whatever energy of source that you want. I mean, that's an intimidation.
Kelly brought it up the other day too. Yeah, and that's very true. It's a different animal when you're actually able to connect with people on a human level in person than virtual. And I know we all prefer that. So it's going to be, I get goosebumps just thinking of who the final 8 might be. It's going to be amazing, no doubt about it. By then, the cash prize might be even larger. Julie Hall, of course, can attest to the fact that she's won a lot of money. Chad's won. So, hey, this grand prize might be even bigger. We all want the pride in the prize. You've all stated, though, that winning this thing is about the pride at that point. At that point, go experiencing this whole thing, it might be more about knowing that you're the only one left standing.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, you think about it. I mean, as of right now, the field in front of us, the round 2 people, and myself, Giselle, and the currently vacationing John Red are already elevated above that. We get to sit, in the balcony and watch the gladiators go at it and see which, what cream rises to the top, who survives and joins us in round 3. Now take that.
Some scouting too?
Absolutely scouting, dude.
Of course.
Absolutely.
There's no reason not to.
We get that knowledge, but, think beyond that. Think of standing, on that, mental podium or however it's presented. One, and I know how important this is to you, but it represents the pride, and that's the Tom Sizemore Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And with that in your hand, that money, it's nice, a check, a box of cash, whatever. But you look at that sea of faces and you can say, hey, in effect, I beat Dee Wallace. I beat Lou Ferrigno. I beat Mark Henry. I mean, when else in anyone's life are they going to look at that sea of faces and say, I'm number 1 amongst the greatest?
You're right. Because even when we have season 2 of this tournament, it's never going to match what we did in season 1 of this celebrity tournament. Not round 1, season 1. Giselle, you're in round 3 as well. And I got to tell you, if anyone can somehow pry that Tom Sizemore Memorial Trophy out of my hands, good luck. I'm in here for that reason. Tom legit said that. He said that was in wrestling, they say shoot. I wasn't in the tournament. He wasn't feeling well. He was participating. But he said, hey, he didn't say take my spot. He said, you got to get in there. I'm like, why? He was just get in there. So it was Tom. And again, He holds a special place in our heart. You'll see him, of course, in an upcoming video tonight. Eon Harris, happy birthday to you. Many more.
Happy birthday, Eon. Thanks for having me on the show.
Appreciate that. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and play the milestone video. Then it's Giselle's segment. She will be on solo to discuss Unsung Heroes as Kelly's backstage, I'm backstage, and of course, Howard will be as well. Guys, this is a 3-minute milestone video. It'll give you an idea of what we've done this last week when it comes to YouTube. So hopefully you will enjoy.
It comes to me with a spark of interest. I feed that spark and it becomes a flame. I feed the flame and it becomes a fire. I feed the fire and it becomes a roaring blaze.
I gotta move on. I gotta move on. Gotta move on. I gotta move on.
Get the word out, hit up YouTube, subscribe, comment on all of our videos, and make sure that you remind the world exactly what Mark Henry wants, exactly what Jeremy wants, exactly what all of us want. We want to make sure that this is not our final destination. We want to make sure that we can touch more people, and we want to make sure that our voices and yours can be heard together through solidarity. And guys, at last count right now, if you go to YouTube, since that video was put together, 43.1 thousand. Oh my God. Yes, Mary, you're right. 43. Guys, you know, the YouTube channel was dormant for like over a year. It was created when we had a marketing team back then. We didn't like the team. It became private for over a year. So really for the last 8.5 months, this thing has been kicking. And in 8.5 months to do what we've done because of all of you means the world to us. Speaking of the world and people have meant a lot to all of us, It's the heroes, those that we don't get a chance to really speak of regularly. But on this particular show called The Green Room, Giselle has her very own segment called Unsung Heroes. Kelly and Howard will as well, but guys and gals, tonight it's about unsung heroes. I can't wait for this segment. Kelly and Howard are going to go backstage, as will I. Giselle, who are we going to be speaking about tonight?
Ooh, well, if you have noticed my background, it's a little bit different this evening. And if anyone recognizes what this might be, I'd love for them to put it in the comments, because this is a very important person and all of this person's work should be known. Definitely. There's a lot going on this weekend. First, I want to say a happy Easter to our friends who are celebrating Orthodox Easter this weekend. And we did have Kentucky Derby today, and there was a great upset. Mystic Dan came from behind and won, beat out the favorite, who wound up in the 15th spot. This is my everyday dress, not just for Derby, I promise. No. And it is the second weekend of the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, and I've heard nothing but amazing things about the weather and the Rolling Stones concert there. Let's see, do we have anything in the comments yet about my background? McKenna says a grassy hill. Ramon loves the background. Awesome. Ramon, you're going to love it even more when you find out exactly what it is. Not Caddyshack? Meadowland? No, not Meadowland. All right. A grassy hill. We are going to get right into it. May is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And the first person I am going to speak of is Maya Lin. Maya Lin is best known for winning the competition to create the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. She was a senior at Yale at the time of the competition. Her entire graduating class entered, and her design was chosen. That is what she's most famous for. We'll get into a few more details in a minute, but let's start with her early life. She was born October 5th, 1959, currently still working. She actually has an ongoing project to this day. That sounds really cool. She's born in Athens, Ohio, to Chinese immigrant parents. Her father is a ceramist and dean of the Ohio University College of Fine Arts, and her mother is a poet, or was a poet and professor of literature at Ohio University. She graduated from Athens High School in 1977, earned her BA from Yale in 1981, and then her Master of Architecture, also from Yale, in 1986. And as stated before, she won the public design contest for the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. She was 21 years old. She was still an undergraduate student. There were 1,422 submissions. She kept her design very simple. It was a V shape and a cut into the earth. And she specifically wanted that cut into the earth. Her intention was to create an opening or a wound and then have that memorial be the healing effect. But unfortunately, there was some controversy surrounding her win. Some of it does have to do with her ethnicity. She is on record as stating that if the entries were stated by name and not by number, she probably would not have won due to her Chinese ancestry, her Asian ancestry. If y'all have any questions, leave those in the comments now and we will get to them as well. Yeah, very scholastic household. They were awesome. Yeah, lift these up. These stories need to be heard. They so do. And it's really important because she is still alive and working today. She has a studio in New York. Also, a lot of people didn't like the fact that there wasn't a statue celebrating soldiers, because traditionally for a war memorial, you saw soldiers. You saw people raising flags. You saw maybe someone holding a wounded or dead comrade. Oh, Jeff, you've been to the memorial before. Yeah, it is humbling. Quiet. That was important, actually. That was part of her design. And thank you to your grandfather for his service. We appreciate that. Yes. So she wanted this V shape with one end pointing toward the Lincoln Memorial and the other to the Washington Monument. And it was black granite. People thought that was very stark. But as Jeff stated, it has become a place of healing. Mourners go there. They leave boots, dog tags, stuffed animals, so many mementos, reminders of the people they've lost. And there were 15,000 names on the memorial when it was first created, and they've since added more. Some people also didn't like that it didn't have, at first wasn't including anyone who was still alive and was only including people who had died in the war. But her design won, and it was actually created, which was actually a really awesome conquest. Why is this word escaping me right now? Accomplishment in and of itself, because there have been other architects, other women in architecture who have won design competitions, and then the selection committees have decided they didn't like that design after all, and the designs were never built. I'll bring up that person's name in a little bit as well, but if you know, let me know in the comments if you know who I might be talking about with that, because she is very important, and I actually think she influenced Maya Lin, because Maya is also influenced by environmental concerns and ecology, and a lot of her work uses the landscape and the land, and she blends that in with her architecture and her art. And that is what this background is. This background is Wave Field, which is at the University of Michigan. It was completed in 1995. And a lot of her work does that. She's also known for the Peace Chapel at the Baker Institute for Peace and Conflict Studies, the 11-minute line, which was completed in 2004 in Sweden, the Langston Hughes Library, 1999, in Clinton, Tennessee, and her ongoing project, which began in 2009, What is Missing? It is a multi-sided, multimedia installation that raises awareness about habitat and biodiversity loss, emphasizing how protecting and restoring habitats help protect species and reduce climate change.
And there's something else. One of my
sure.
favorite documentaries of all time. A classic that's celebrating 30 years. Hoop Dreams. Guys and gals, if you've ever seen Hoop Dreams, oh yeah. Maya Lin, guys and gals. So diverse, so versatile. We're talking Hoop Dreams. We're talking about how she was able to really kind of change the way the system was, because the criteria for garnering nominations for documentaries were bizarre back then. And her win was controversial. But it ended up being the last straw for documentary filmmakers, because the Academy added a second documentary review committee in New York. So add that to her list too. I mean, God almighty, there's so many different things that she did that was later on considered controversial, or even at the moment. But she called out Ross Perot. That's probably one of the things that I recall most about her. She called out Ross Perot during a time where Ross Perot was starting to gain some steam. You know, he wasn't just the third wheel in the election. Ross Perot was getting a lot of steam. And also, we all know how much of a contributor he was financially. So for her to do that during a time where it was a no-no, she had a lot of courage. Financially speaking, Ross Perot wanted to do his best to break her, but he couldn't. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
I don't think anyone can break Maya Lin. She considers herself a designer. She doesn't use the word architect. She does consider herself a designer and an artist, and her work is lovely. Look at don't you want to lay down in this field? I would love to lay down and gaze up at the clouds in this. It's a beautiful piece. And
I would now. You know why? Because my Knicks are in round number 2. How about that?
What? No Knicks jokes tonight?
No Knicks jokes. What? This place has been void of all Knicks jokes, because guess what? They're not a joke anymore. It would be dishonest, Kelly White or Howard Collado, for me to come up with a Knicks joke, because they're not a joke, because they're winning some b-ball. How about that?
Guys, you understand, for 2 years straight, there have been numerous Knicks jokes, and me and Avi,
no Knicks jokes.
we share the pain of where it comes from. And wow, no Knicks jokes.
None.
No,
They're
Knicks
winning.
joke.
There has
They're
to be
winning.
gold flying somewhere.
Philly, hit the bricks. You're gone. New York, guys, Indiana, an old rivalry, born again. Sorry, Kelly. I know you're not a b-ball guy, but you know what? After watching the Knicks for 30 years, neither was I up until now. Again.
Wow.
So, guys and gals, we hope you enjoyed not only Unsung Heroes. If you want more of that, guess what? Paper Knife will not be a one-trick pony kind of a show. Yes, it had one hell of a debut. Yes, so did Indie Tales. Yes, so did the Howard Show. But guys and gals and pals, I'm telling you right now, it's back. The block is back. Friday night and Sunday. We're talking about 6 nights away, guys. No, actually, what are we at Saturday already? Are we at Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday. Yeah.
6 nights away, and we have the Fab Friday lineup, which will be revealed via the artwork that we distribute all week long. And then the Sunday Source as well. Some new shows. We'll see the voiceover with Joe Rizart. Haven't seen that live just yet. We'll see Truly Julie. And we might see a History of the World. I'd love to be able to host that show with some of the Green Roomers as well and talk about the stories that need to be told in modern and, of course, ancient history. I think that there's a lot we could learn from in a very fun, captivating way. Got something on the American Revolution. I think you guys will like it. What's that, Kelly?
Is it like the modern ancient history then?
Everything modern today was ancient, and everything ancient back then is modern. It's funny how things worked out, I'd say. What's old is new, and what's new is old. But guys and gals, what's never old is how we close out the show with the outro.
Absolutely.
It's been a very, very monumental night.
Mm-hmm.
I've enjoyed every bit of this. Part 1 or 2 of History of the World. Oh, yes. Great film. Love it. Great news. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, guys and gals. Again, stay tuned for your local flyers regarding Friday's Fab Friday and the Sunday Source. You could find them on our YouTube channel. That's where you got to find them. They debuted with over 2,000 views. How apropos they tied each other, I think, at 2.1 thousand. At last glance, it looked like they tied each other. But Kelly's kind of a Friday guy. Howard's a Sunday guy, so there's a little bit of a Friday-Sunday rivalry. We'll see how that goes. The next time you'll see our pretty faces, by that I mean me, it'll be Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on The Black Box. 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Joe Rizart's page. And, of course, I mean me, because Giselle won't be there. Howard and Kelly will not start the show. I will, because I have a grand announcement that has nothing to do with the end of the tournament to kick off the Black Box this Wednesday.
What?
So you can't miss it. It's going to be a big one. It can only happen on the Black Box, not anywhere else. It's going to affect all of us. Thank you so very much. Guys and gals, all right, this is the outro. I ask the cast to do this. Watch it, take it in, feel and absorb, because we're never going to experience season 1 of this tournament ever again. It's not going to happen. There have been a lot of happenings, but never anything like this again. All right, guys, again, we appreciate you. We do want to say this, not to talk all technical, but when it comes to long-form shows, that means shows that run over 2 hours, our retention time is close to 80%. So I'm fine with committing to what I believe in when some of the old detractors get your show's too long. I don't think so. Over 80% of the people say it ain't too long because they're either binging it or they're watching it whenever they have time. There's so much great content every single minute. So we provide you with as much as we can, a plethora, a bevy, a smorgasbord of content every Saturday Night Live. And guys and gals, again, thank you for sticking around for those that have. Wednesday, 8 p.m., Joe Rizart's page. Next Saturday, we have another matchup. It might be the last one. It could be the last one. You never know. Maybe 11th. But in the interim, there'll be special broadcasts on Saturday, and that means that you might get an 11th hour matchup before round 2 begins. Unsanctioned, you never know. All it means is that, 1, the Second Chance Bowl is going to start very soon. So we got to get those votes in for those last 4 spots. And it also means that there might be a last-minute triple threat matchup that happens on a Saturday before round 2 begins. You never know if that could happen. It'll be unadvertised. Some big names coming down the pike. I'm just trying to get them all together on the same night. We'll see how that goes. Guys, some hints at the end of the outro will give you an idea of who might be on next Saturday night. Thank you, Elise. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Dion. Let's thank you all over here who are here. Mary, thank you so much. Chad, Ramon, all in the house over here, guys. Thank Kelly. Thank Giselle. Thank Howard Collado. And guys, there's going to be a special D&D show on a Saturday night coming up as well. Ooh. That's going to be between rounds 1 and 2 as well. A special celebrity D&D show. And on Monday night, guys, every Monday, Kelly does his thing. D&D, some great adventures hosted by this awesome DM. Wish him a happy birthday as well. This man's awesome. I'm so excited. McKenna, we might see you on Wednesday facing Kelly. We know that's that matchup coming up. Howard, JW, something's got to give pretty soon. John Red, guys and gals, he's got a message for Kelly this Wednesday also. JW will be in the house next Saturday for Howard with a surprise. So there's a ton going on, guys. Truly, Julian Joe Rizard for the right to host the Black Box. And, of course, at one point, Kelly White and Bagwell, Mike Omano as well. We'll see how that goes.
Ooh.
For Kelly White, Howard Collado, Giselle, Sheryl Swoopes, Clinton Portis, Butch Patrick, Chad Top 10. We are here to wish you a wonderful night. Please enjoy the outro, and thank you for being who you are. Subscribe and comment. It's free to do so all across the board, and get your friends and family to watch and do the same, because without you, there is no us.
Obsession's going to be talent every time. You got all the talent in the world.
He never listens to you, Sandler, ever.
Is it all you ever think about?
It was right over his head.
Dignified is the word often associated with Lenny. Impeccably.
And by the way, guys and gals, Mr. Lenny Wilkins and I had a conversation the other week. Mr. Lenny Wilkins pulled the mightiest April Fool's Day joke on me. Oh, quite Lenny Wilkins? Mr. Lenny Wilkins pulling one on me? He did. And I'll address that. He's been a celebrity judge, too. When he gets on the Second Chance Bowl, I'm going to let him know that I got him on May the 4th, 2024. Because, guys and gals, the Hall of Famer was just ribbed right now as an Oscar winner.
The original deal, they would get $20,000 for each loss. After Game 5, they hadn't seen a penny.
I've seen the evolution of point karate and point martial arts, and it's just really, really exciting to see that it's evolved to this point.
In our country, oh, they want to help, they want to do something, but nobody knows what to do. You know what I mean? And you start with small steps.
Please direct me to the rehab staging area.
I am a spiritual person, and I do believe that I am no longer with me on the other side.
Which side do you breathe on when you swim? The left. Okay, then you want to put it over your right shoulder.
It was the first time in my life that what I was doing for a living actually impacted people.
The truth of the matter is that is a full time and a half job, and you have to be dedicated to it 24/7.
Being comfortable with myself allows me to give back, and I think that's been the biggest thing, and it's also the hardest thing.
And these are statistics where I go like, wow, this is reality, this is real life, and people don't talk about it, a lot.
You should be given your all the time, and you want to be the best all the time.
Would she still want to be royalty, or would she want to be like a regular person?
So I wouldn't say no, but right now I am enjoying my time and my freedom. And it just has to be the right time. But
when you have the worst brain injury possible, you don't quite think straight sometimes. So
I've got people that keep me on the right path.
Gets with his ability to stuff the takedown. Oh! Big left hook! Here comes Hugh!
I just wish I could be there, and I wish I could help him so that the world could see what that 15 years would have looked like if he was flourishing.
And for me, I'd say John was the best rival, opponent, partner you could ever ask for. One of the best to ever do it in the ring.
That, you know, we're so judge ourselves so harshly, and just giving ourselves the love and the grace and patience.
I could show people that I could dance, I could tumble, I could dive.
You got two choices in your life. You can have an ordinary life, or you can have an extraordinary life.
Elaine, you're out of control. You need help.
Kurosawa imagined it as two films, much the way Peter Jackson broke up The Hobbit into two films.
That the Delta House did knowingly violate the rules governing pledge recruitment.
And you find out that he hasn't killed anybody, that everybody's been trying to drive him crazy.
Chucky, Child's Play is an original. So those doors were open then.
And how many TV themes go on to live in the movies? It doesn't happen.
A curfew at 10 o'clock. That's the end of necking. Girls don't even get in the mood till 11.
That's right. That's what we need today in America. So much going on in America. We need that something to bring us back together.
And so like the game show host says, come on down, tough guy.
We played that tape out, and rest in peace to Robin Williams, but he is hilarious.
They're here, so I gave them a hug, and this means a lot to my family, and we're going to celebrate all together.
It's the guy who's willing to die who's gonna win that itch. And I know if I'm gonna have any life in it, you gotta look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now I think you're gonna see a guy who will go that inch with you.
You know what? Maybe one of the world's problems will get solved by listening to this show.
Avi, I'm gonna win this whole thing. Watch.
I know you are, Tom. I know you are.